All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to a very excuse me, hold on, I gotta stretch. It's been a long day. Hold on, I woke up kind of late. Oh, my bad. I'm so immature. I told you I was gonna be petty than a mom. I told you. Welcome to a very special edition of ASAP in the morning. Obviously, it's your boy Pride. Oh, my New England Patriots, we handle our business. I love, in the group chat, people were crying, talking about, the elements. Oh, man, I love when people cry like that. Meanwhile, my guy, Mac Jones, 67%. Yo, Trey, what was his rating again, bro?
84.
84, which was too damn low.
Well, you only threw 3 damn passes. Come on, man. Mac Jones was on vacation. He checked out. Damian Harris was the quarterback, the running back, and everything in between.
Let me ask you a question real quick, Jay. Jay. What was his percentage? Over 67%, right? And he got the dub, right? And he got the dub, right? That's all I care about. It has been a beautiful
He didn't get the dub. He did not get the W. Damian Harris and Bill Belichick got the W. He was just out there handing the ball.
Okay. Guess what? Mac Jones. See, by the way, Trey, he should have had at least a 90. I'm just throwing that out there. The disrespect of Mac Jones continues. Oh, man. I knew I was going to come up here, man. But I am joined by Jay, who was upset last night because someone was disrespecting Chris Paul. We're not going to throw out no names, but, we just need to have this individual drug tested. Trey is here, who just yesterday wore a 49ers attire, but then looks at me funny when I'm having to rep some Patriots. So it's very interesting to see, some of the daggers you're spitting out. And Greg got the memo. We are repping our team. And then obviously Jay McLovin, who got sour grapes right now because Mac Jones was in the building, bro. You saw
Mac who?
That was a good one. Well, it was a phenomenal game. Hey, coach, take your time because we're gonna be here. It was a phenomenal game. You saw that dot he threw to Jonnu Smith? Ooh, that was a dot. I was like, yo, Mac Jones, you're my idol, bro. Mac Jones, I don't care what no one says, his leadership, the intangibles he has is something great. I told y'all when we went. By the way, I just want a quick hand count. Who said the Bills were gonna win? Quick question.
I did.
I want your hands up.
But check this out.
No. Before I let you go, Jay, I promise. But hands up real quick. So
I already put mine in there.
Got it? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We was out here. We handle our business. And by the way, real quick, this defense was warranted, which I believe the Bills have a great defense. I believe they have a great defense. However, the problem is when you play New England, it don't matter. We 16-2 on your home. Jay, take it away.
I mean, let's be honest, bro.
Don't do that. Don't say let's be honest. Don't do that. Don't discredit the win. Don't do that.
No. First of all, don't cut me off that early. You didn't even know where I was going with it. But let's be honest though, Pride. When we look at back and you reference his leadership skills, the rookie is doing well. But keep in mind, Bill Belichick is the quarterback whisperer. Okay.
Oh, there's no debate.
So when you looked at, Tom, when he came in and replaced Drew back way when, it was the same thing. He didn't have those type of issues that you see with normal young quarterbacks first, second, third year into the game. So when I look at Mac Jones, I see a product. I see the product of Bill Belichick. I see Bill Belichick on the field, you know, in his head at all times. That's why he remains calm. That's and see, I almost feel like, you know, we all go into situations where there's a cause and effect, right? And he always has a game plan. It seems like, okay, look, if this pass doesn't work, throw it away. I have a play for 3rd and 9, or I have a play for 3rd and 10. So I feel like he's more comfortable than the average quarterback sitting at his position. So it gives him the ability to sit back. It gives you the ability to say, "Oh man, look how great, you know, he is with his leadership skills." In all reality, all he's doing is going out there and fulfilling the game plan that Bill Belichick has, and the leadership that Bill Belichick instills in his players it's something that takes off on everyone. You're going to see that in every element of the game when you look at a Bill Belichick team.
That's so disrespectful. How dare you disrespect Mac Jones, who's been the great? See, you're one of those people. You think Mac Jones is horrible, huh? See, I've been defending Mac Jones, and I try to be impartial, right? I try to, right? But when it comes to Mac Jones, God damn it, this kid won over my heart. Look, I've been hearing nonstop. Trevor Lawrence is better because he has longer hair, right? Justin Fields look cooler, so he's better, right? Zach Wilson, he got that cool headband, so he's neat. Hey, yo, Trey Lance, he's the underdog because he's being held down, so he's got to be better than Mac Jones. Meanwhile, my guy has survived, thrived, and is looking alive. I don't care. Hey,
yeah, but those guys that you just named.
And let me ask you a question.
Wait, hold on.
Hold on real quick before I say anything. Which one of those guys, the only guy I believe outside of Mac Jones that would survive in New England with how Bill Belichick runs it, the only one I genuinely believe outside of Mac Jones would be Justin Fields. That's my I don't think any other,
but see, that's the problem. That's where we disagree. I think you can plug all 5 of them in there. The teams will look different, but
and
Bill
Trey
Belichick
Lance?
Yes, but Bill Belichick, Trey Lance out of everyone. You give Bill Belichick a Trey Lance. You give Bill Belichick a Trey Lance, he's untouchable.
Smoking.
He opens up his offense to be able to do whatever the hell he wants. Bill Belichick X's and O's ain't no one. I'll put no one against him. You could take Nick Saban if you wanted to. I'll give Bill Belichick freaking Notre Dame. When it comes down to X's and O's,
Bill Belichick UTSA.
But when it comes down to X's and O's, he's the best.
And I understand that. I understand
he's
that.
the best.
But what you're talking about,
no, I'm not. You're giving too much credit to Mac Jones.
You're
not giving enough credit to Bill Belichick.
Whoa,
no,
Trey,
you're not giving enough. Hold on.
Trey, don't do that now. Don't do that now, Trey.
You're giving too much credit to him.
I'm not giving him too much credit. Look, the thing I love about Mac Jones the most.
I think Mac Jones fell in the perfect system. That's what.
Not only that, but at the same time, this kid does what he needs to do. You tell him what to do, he goes, okay, and he'll do it to his best ability.
You know how I know you're giving him way too much?
How am I giving him way too much?
Because he had 2 completions yesterday, and Harris had 111 yards. He averaged 11 yards per carry on 10 touches and had a touchdown. You haven't mentioned his name.
But y'all didn't even let me finish. I was going on my whole thing.
We've been on for 10 minutes.
You've been talking Mac Jones. Because I'm going on my whole spiel. I'm talking about top to bottom. I gave Jonnu Smith for props for that phenomenal catch.
The way they ran the way Bill Belichick ran their show yesterday, you could have put anybody in that scenario, and all they got to do is hand the ball. So that was all Bill Belichick, none whatsoever of Mac Jones.
But don't y'all think he deserves?
You could have put Freddie Henderson at the quarterback spot, and you'd have won that game. All they got to do, even Freddie can hand the ball off.
Thank you. And I'm not taking nothing from Mac for the season at all. Zero am I taking away from what he's done so far this season.
Mac Jones, I got your back. Nah, I don't want to hear nothing, bro. Mac Jones, I got your back, bro. You feel me? You got clowns out here thinking that Trevor Lawrence is better than you.
Nobody said that Trevor Lawrence is better than you.
Jay, I'm defending my man's. I'm defending my man.
Say that. Anybody that say that, they got to go. They got to go.
Bro, listen, Jed. I've had a whole bunch of goofies talking all this stuff, talking about Mac Jones. He's horrible, all this stuff. I love me some Mac Jones. But before y'all fucking interrupted me, I was going to continue. But no, y'all didn't let me finish. So let me continue. Not only Damian Harris.
Thank you, Sander.
Rondé Moore. Meanwhile, you think of him, he's one of the people that thought Trevor Lawrence is better because he's got longer hair. Watch who you be thinking, Jay.
Right now, me and Sanders on the same team.
How y'all be thinking, Jay? Rondé Stevenson, 24 touches, 78 yards, right? When I was watching that game, the touches he got was the touches that I was hoping he would get. And what I mean by that, he got the touches that, he'll give you 3 to 5 yards, you know what I mean? And he'll keep the clock running.
Yeah.
See, we gave Harris the ball, mind you, 10 touches, 111 yards. Woo, that's my dude right there. But Stevenson, he was getting them low-key, undervalued touches. The touches that kill the clock. Like, every single time Bill Belichick was like, hey, yo, we're not trying to score. We're just trying to run the clock down. Who was getting the ball? Stevenson. Every time.
Well, I mean, you got to take into account that Harris couldn't even walk half the game. His hamstring was.
There were a couple of touches where he literally would have to stop running in between the play because he was so bad and he would just gimp out of bounds.
Yeah.
And the fact that, bro, you gimp and you give me 111 yards?
So can we talk about the real? Can we talk about the real thing? Bill Belichick finding the hole in that defense.
You said what now?
Can we talk about the real issue? Is Bill Belichick finding the hole in that defense and pounding it away?
I'll be honest with you. I don't think it was finding a hole in the defense. I'll be honest. I think Sean McDermott was an idiot. You're having wins and you're having Josh Allen throw the ball 30 times and those absurd wins. To me, that's poor coaching. That's just me. Because my thing is, you got 2 capable running backs. Why don't you use them? Especially in a situation like this. Go ahead,
I clearly don't think it was a matter of. I think it was just a matter of Josh McDaniels, maybe even Bill, whichever was the mad genius behind their scheme last night, sitting down and recognized it pulled one of those Nick Saban moves when that year he won the national championship when everyone thought he was going to come out throwing and he ran the ball all day to win the national championship or vice versa, whichever one won. So I think it was more so that it may not have, like Jay was just saying, it wasn't a fact of they having seeing a hole in the defense. They just recognized that it was going to be something they probably wasn't caught. Who would have thought in the professional football game that the whole game would be a run game? The whole scheme would be a run game. 3 passes, 2 or 3 for 19 yards. Come on now. Now, who would have thought it? Not in the many years where I had thought. But, you know what I'm saying, it's one of those things, simplistic is genius. And that's basically what they pulled out. I don't know when the next time we'll see it. Who would have even thought that Harrison and what's her backup, DeMondre? Who would have even thought that? Stevenson, yeah. Who would have thought that they would have been the bell cows to sit up and almost gain 200 yards rushing that kept them up long enough and that they would have neutralized Buffalo's offense to put up the numbers that to win the game. It was just, I think it was just one of those things that caught them off guard. And once they start slipping, they kept applying that pressure, and there was nothing they could do about it, or they couldn't find a reason, or it just kept them off balance. And it was he was out coached. It was just an out coaching all across the board.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about this, at the beginning of the season, guys. Buffalo's running back position is hampered, and I don't care who's but hold on. At this point, I don't know if it's a personnel issue. They just
don't trust them.
No, I don't think it's a personnel issue anymore. I think it's schemes. I think it's the line. I think it's the scheme. I think it's game planning. I mean, because Montgomery is good. I like Montgomery. I like Moss as well. They both have something to them that can really make a 1-2 tangent work. And when I look at this team, it hurts to look at them and say, man, they really do have a good quarterback. Man, they really do have a top 5 receiver in this league. And they can't push forward past these big time teams. They can't get past the New England Patriots. I mean, they struggled with them last year when everyone was saying that Cam Newton shouldn't have been on the field. You see what I'm saying? So it comes down to Buffalo. I'm going to blame it on coaching. I'm not going to blame your guys' running back room anymore. I gave you guys that excuse last year that you guys just didn't have the right personnel. It has to be the scheme. It has to be coaching. It has to be the play calling.
I mean, it's just weird. Again, with the wins that was making the goalpost rattle, why you gonna throw it? You know, like it's just very perplexing. Like Tyler Bass, who's a good kicker, I think it was like a 31-yarder that he missed, and it wasn't really him. He kicked it pretty good. The wind literally took it. By the way, you're saying I'm not putting your comments up. It's because all you're doing is just taking what someone else says and then putting them in the comments to try to sound like you're smart. So that is literally the reason why you're getting ignored.
And regardless,
and real quick, by the way, there's an S at the end of suck. So holla at your boy when you learn to spell.
But and by the way, man, I mean, I'm all for the banter. You guys can come at me, come at whatever, but keep it sports related. Don't attack them personally. That's all I say. But anyways,
rent free.
Hey,
but
charge they motherfucking ass.
Look, man, at the end of the day, I don't get why Buffalo came out. And on top of that, what really had me perplexed is Josh Allen. You understand, and Greg, maybe I believe you were one of the people who don't think, Josh Allen is as great as he is.
Right.
Is this kind of something you look at when you're making the point? Because Josh Allen could have said, you know what, we're running the ball. We need to run the ball. We need to make some adjustment because the wind is crazy. There were a couple of his throws that you could tell the wind just completely took over. You could easily see that. So is this some of the stuff you're talking about when people talk about Josh Allen? You're like, yo, he just can't make the adjustments?
Yeah, big games. This was a part of it. And now I hope people can see what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm not going to blame him for of course, Stephon Diggs dropping the touchdown. That's not his fault. But the two plays, the back shoulder throw, the Stephon Diggs on that last drive, if you throw it a little bit more inside, even if the wind pushes it, it stays in bounds. Stephon Diggs has a chance. And then on the last play, Cole Beasley is running wide open. Where are you throwing the football? Cole Beasley is running wide open on a slant, and you throw it all the way to the backside and get the pass knocked down. Where are you throwing the football? Josh Allen, his QBR was 20. He was horrible. Horrible. I don't care how bad the wind was going and all that. They brought you in because you played in Wyoming. You played in horrible weather conditions, and you have a cannon arm, and you can throw through anything. And when it was time to throw through anything, he couldn't do it. These are the things that I'm talking about. That's why I never consider Buffalo a Super Bowl team, because Josh Allen is not that dude. Period. He's not.
Let me just ask you a question. What would he have to do to show you, to make you in essence believe in Josh Allen?
If he had a game where he threw 300 yards or something in a big game, let's say, okay, they play Tampa Sunday. If he throws for 300 and 3 touchdowns and they win, I'll say, okay, that's the first time Josh Allen doing something in a big game. I'll give it to him. But until that happens, I can't trust him in a big game. I just can't do it.
Okay. Jay, I kind of saw you nodding a little bit when Greg started. I'm assuming you and him are on the same page?
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, man, that loss to New England wasn't so much Josh Allen. That was just straight up Buffalo's defense. I mean, come on, man. They stacking you. They're not even putting any wide receivers out there. They're the whole formation, it's a run, and yet you still can't stop it. You ain't got to worry about wide receivers. It's a run. Yep. And I'm telling you, man, Harris was just running from end to end. They weren't stopping him. They were doing nothing. That whole game was just – it was – I stopped watching. After halftime, I lost interest. I was like, okay. And Buffalo's my defense. I was like, man, I'm screwed.
I mean, look, it's – for me, the way I look at it, this is why I've been saying all year that I like the Bills. I trust them, but there's a few games that they're going to need to have a run game, and they just again, I don't want to say they don't have one because they have 2 running backs that are capable. They just refuse to use it. And it's bizarre to me because to me, and I make this comparison all the time, they're like the bizarro world of the Ravens, right? The Ravens, they just want to run. The Bills just want to pass. But you need some dimension. So for a few games, let's say Josh Allen, because in every season, a quarterback, they're going to have a few bad games, right? But that's when you need a running game. So that way, when that happens, you know what I mean? You can rely on that run game. And they were just living and dying by the passing game, which is fine. That's fine when it works. But then when it doesn't, what is your plan B? Where do you go back to? How do you go, okay, you know what? This ain't working out. Now let's start giving them touches because somebody said this. You can't ask Buffalo to run the ball like that. They haven't done it all year. And then you add the win. And that's what I've been saying. This is, if you had somewhat of a running game and you utilize those 2 guys, they probably would have ran the ball. But for some unknown reason, they don't want to. And this is where I have a big knock on Sean McDermott. This is when you need to be able to tell them, yo, let's look at everything. We're running the ball. That's what makes guys like Bill Belichick special. Or hell, even Bruce Arians, because even Bruce Arians sometimes does it. Where he goes,
it's that old school mentality. But here's the thing. When you look at this AFC East, one thing that Bill Belichick is common for, if you look at his track record, he has someone in that backfield that's ready to get those grimy work, put your nose in the freaking dirt yards when it comes to this time of year, when it comes to snow, when it comes to severe weather, when it comes to, if you put the ball in the air, it's going to look like a whirlwind. Bill Belichick has a game plan. He does it every freaking time. Every time it gets cold like this, he goes to the run. And I don't understand how no one in the AFC East has put together a freaking running back combination that can handle these type of freaking situations. They play the same. They deal with this weather every year. No, they don't. No, it's not about personnel no more. We just talked about this. The Buffalo Bills is not about personnel anymore. We've seen they've got the personnel. It's execution. It's game.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
It's game calling.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they have the personnel, but the coach, like Sean McDermott, is not calling those plays.
Correct.
Which that's what I'm saying. Because I'm with you.
And they're calling the plays. They're
back.
Not executing. They had 19 attempts running the football with running backs. Then you add in Josh Allen's 8. They had 25 attempts. 25 attempts. Do you realize in all 25 attempts, Damian Harris with a gimpy hamstring outrushed them? That's ridiculous.
100%. And on top of that, combined, they only have one more touch than Ron May Stevenson, who had 24.
And that's a problem. That's a problem when you're dealing with these weather factors. That's a problem when it's a 59 mile per hour gust of wind. When you can't kick a 20-yard field goal, what the fuck are you doing throwing the ball? And again, you know what I mean? Like you look at the teams, you look at the game, and you're like, okay, this is very simple. I mean, who saw the field when they came in right before the game started and they did the overview? Yeah. You could even see the fucking field.
No, bro, it was wild.
Okay.
But when I saw that, I was like 100% both teams are running the ball. That was my first instinct.
But you want to know what's comical about this? As great as we call Bill Belichick a coach, we should call McDermott a rookie. Because those were rookie fucking tactics.
And you're 100%. I got you. I'm with you there. Real quick, TJ. He's not getting the Mahomes treatment, but the reason people are calling him a top 5 quarterback is A, he's getting better every year. B, last year he was just in the AFC Championship game against Patrick Mahomes. And 3, and I think this is the most important one, I like Josh Allen, but let's be honest, if Deshaun Watson was playing, Josh Allen would probably be like a top 6 quarterback.
No, and to add on that, I think the reason why Josh Allen isn't getting the Patrick Mahomes treatment is because of the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs have created that Patrick Mahomes treatment. They gave him Tyreek Hill. They gave him Travis Kelce. They gave him a dynamic running back in the backfield. They've continuously changed up that offensive line to protect Patrick because they didn't like the way it was happening and breaking down the last 2 seasons. So Josh Allen hasn't gotten that treatment because of the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills haven't gone out and continuously improved that offense to give him those weapons every single year. You see Kansas City went out and got Sam Watkins the year before. Like, man, we need another tool. Now they got Hardman stepping up. Kansas City has done whatever the fuck they possibly could to keep Patrick Mahomes in the limelight. That's the opposite of what Buffalo is doing for Josh Allen.
Yep, Coach. First and foremost, welcome, my guy. Good to see you. The chat is actually having a fun conversation amongst themselves, and I'm pretty sure all of them are on the same page. It was started by Gritty Yuki, who asked, "Do you think the Bills are frauds, Coach? What do you think?"
It's starting to think like they're frauds. The way they've been playing lately. My bad, everybody. I woke up a little late, overslept, but the coach Dante's in the morning, so shout out to everybody. But it's starting to look like that. The way they've been playing, the loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars, they get outplayed by the Indianapolis Colts, getting ran on. And last night, an excellent game playing by Bill Belichick. Yeah. The Patriots had 222 yards. How can you not know someone is going to run the football in when it's windy and it's cold out there? And again, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, I think Sean McDermott, the coach, like I say, it's on coaching and execution. You had 2 plays, a third down play, 3rd and 13, basically with Stephon Diggs comes wide open if he's been patient a little bit. But then again, I give him a pass on that because he was bummed, he was rushed. And if you look at the replay, you'll see Stephon Diggs coming wide open if he had time. The 4th and 4 play, you had a wide open Cole Beasley over the middle, and you decide to throw another post route where the guy can just come off his route and easily get off his man, get off Cole Beasley and tip the ball. You had Cole Beasley one-on-one over the middle for a possibly first down and touchdown. So again, give Bill Belichick the credit. Go ahead.
Can I comment on that? Can I comment on that play specifically? That was another thing when we're talking about this Josh Allen treatment. That was a complete Josh Allen fuck up. Josh Allen stared down his receiver. Yep. Hold on. That was a great play call by McDermott. He had the 2. Yep. He had them lined up. He had the linebackers having to choose which one was going to break off into coverage. He got the linebacker stuck at the line of scrimmage, so it left the 2 wide receivers out in the freaking open, both cutting off. Here's the problem with fucking Josh Allen. He stared down his goddamn wide receiver the whole freaking route.
And the other receiver on the left side, you had Cole Beasley in the slot. He throws it to the one on the left side who's running a post.
That's the design. That's the design play. That's the design
play.
But what happens is
that's the one he threw to, basically to make the safety come off of the receiver. The safety saw that play easy. He looked off Cole Beasley. He didn't look off the safety. He looked off Cole Beasley, and the man was able to read Josh Allen, which got the tip. With Cole Beasley, should have went to Cole Beasley one-on-one, wide open, and that was Josh Allen. That was
and that's where. But see, and that's what I'm saying is opposite. The play was supposed to go to where he threw the ball. The problem was he fucking stared it down the whole time. He didn't give Cole Beasley a chance to take his freaking his damn safety off the fucking plate. Because I give Cole Beasley that chance.
And to your point,
he looked off the safety and he threw it a little bit too early. Cole Beasley was wide open right there. He was open right there. He was open right there. He threw it too early and then he just looked him off too much, make the safety come off his guy, Cole Beasley, and just read it a little more easier. I mean, Josh Allen has to make those plays. That was 2 wide open plays that Josh Allen had. I can't blame Josh Allen for missing Stephon Diggs because he was pressured. He was pressured on that play. He had to run off the pocket, and that was a good play by Adrian Phillips on Dawson Knox. But that was totally Josh Allen fault. He has to be better. He has to be better than that. Cole Beasley was wide open, one-on-one in single coverage, probably for a walk-in touchdown on first down.
Yeah, and like I said, half a second later, he hits Cole Beasley. At minimum, that's a first down. And potentially not just a big game, but it could have potentially went a touch. I think, Coach, I think you were the one who said it. It potentially could have went like that because, I mean, it was that good of a play. But again, it really comes down to, and this kind of goes to my point, where if Patrick Mahomes did that throw, the wide receiver ran the wrong route. Josh Allen does it, and it's his fault. So you know what I mean. That's why I'm saying they're not. Like,
but Patrick Mahomes don't have. But Patrick Mahomes doesn't have those little issues with IQ problems.
I'm just saying that because someone said, "Why is Allen put in the same thing as Mahomes?" And I'm saying he's not, because again, if Mahomes were to do that, it's not his fault. For instance, there were people when he was throwing all those interceptions. It was like 5-6 games in a row he threw interceptions. People were making excuses for him, And it's like, if Josh Allen did that, they would be slandering him. You know what I mean? Like they'd be coming at him hard. So that's why I'm saying, like, to me, like when they try to compare them, I don't think. And yeah, I put this comment up, and this hit it perfectly in the head. The Bills are a warm weather scheme team in a cold city. They are the East Coast LA Rams. If we're gonna keep it a stat, they are the East Coast LA Rams, and that's just how. And honestly, in cold weather, it's not the best way to play. There's gonna be some time where you're gonna have to run the ball, and it sucks. It really does.
And also, Patrick Mahomes isn't gonna miss Cole Beasley running wide open like that.
You're right.
You got to be
right. You're right, Greg.
Quarterback, you got to make that play.
You're right, Greg. You're right.
Thank you, Greg.
And you're right.
Yeah, that's fast. That's completely fast.
You're right. Patrick Mahomes will not miss him. He'll just throw an interception this year.
I have a question.
Okay.
I'm just saying, let's not sit here and pretend Patrick Mahomes is all
most of
first of all, that's disrespectful.
are off a tip pass.
I know, I'm so disrespectful.
No, but listen, I have a question. I want to kind of wrap around the podium here. I'll start with you, Jay. Buffalo, after this game, they're sitting at 7-5, McLevin, and we got Buffalo, the Bengals, we got the Colts at 7-6, and we got the Chargers at 7-5. Now, do you think this game right here really puts them in jeopardy of missing the playoffs, Jay?
No, not at all. I think the Bills will still be in the playoffs. They're going to be a low seed. They play maybe a wild card or something, but I still think they're better than the Bengals. And I don't know, man. Indianapolis is playing really nice right now. Though.
Their defense.
You know what? I'm gonna have to retract that. Yeah, because I wasn't thinking about Jonathan Taylor and Wentz and what Indianapolis is doing. So yeah, I must say, actually, I think it does put them in jeopardy. Absolutely. It's really going to come down to they got to play the Patriots again.
Yep.
And
if I'm not mistaken, don't they play one either us or the Bills play the Colts, and then we play each other again?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
no, we don't play the Patriots. The Bills don't play the Patriots till week 16. They got the Buccaneers,
that's what I'm saying.
and then Carolina.
Between. And what I'm saying is somebody plays the Colts. Either the Bills or the Patriots play the Colts.
It's probably the Patriots.
I think you're right.
The Patriots play the Colts next Thursday, I think.
Yeah.
I saw a Saturday night game. I'm like,
Saturday. I'm sorry, Saturday.
I'm like, what is this, college? I'm like, what the hell? I'm like,
no, they started that. Since we added that extra week, we got 3 weeks of Saturday games now.
Hey, yo, Roger Goodell.
But okay, so Jay, you say you think they're gonna miss out?
Yeah, I think because I think Indianapolis squeaks in there. I think Indianapolis is playing a little bit better than the Colts or the Bills, especially after what I watched against the way they game planned against the Bills. I have to think that the Indianapolis Colts are pretty hot right now. Jonathan Taylor's just playing nice. Carson Wentz is playing nice. Their defense is playing really well. I think their schedule supports it. So I think I got Indianapolis over the Bills.
Okay.
Trey.
Go ahead.
Because basically Jay's question, but this loss, the Bills fall to 7th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're 7-5. They got
they're
three
7
other
and 5,
people,
but they're the 7th seed in the AFC.
Correct.
So like
and there's
they're
3 other people tied with them.
right. So do you think that the Bills will end up falling out of the playoffs?
No. So I don't. For the simple fact of the bill, like you got to take in consideration what the other teams are in the hunt, which is right now the only other 7-win team on the brink of getting in or being eliminated is the Colts at 7-6. So when you look at that, the Bills potentially with their last 5 games could go 3-2. With that's possibly losing to New England and Tampa Bay. The rest, Atlanta, the Jets, and I forgot the other one. There is a probability that they're gonna win those games, which puts them at 10. Will put them at 10-7 in that case. And then depending on who the Colts play, it might be the Bills' position to keep if or get, just be to continue to walk up into the playoffs. So I don't foresee them being at minimum they'll be the 7th seed.
Well, keep in mind, the Los Angeles Chargers have the Giants, the Texans, and the Broncos left on their schedule. They're tied with Buffalo as well. Then, you got Cincinnati, who's also tied with Buffalo as well. They end the season with the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Niners. So they got a little bit of a harder schedule. So I can see them maybe possibly falling out of there and kind of fizzling out. But it doesn't really look good for Buffalo after that. Still having the Patriots left on their schedule, and like I said, looking at the Colts. Then we just talked about the Chargers. You just talked about the Bengals, and the Raiders are still right there as well at 6-6. So I don't know. The Buffalo really has to turn it on. What do you think, Greg?
Yeah, I would go with the Colts sneaking in there because let's say you have Buffalo. I think they're going to lose at Tampa now, so that's a loss. That's 6. I don't see them winning at New England. That's 7 losses. If the Colts can beat the Patriots, I think the Colts will. I think the Colts will make that last spot. That's the game. If the Colts win that game against the Patriots, the Colts are going to get in the playoffs. If they lose that, then Buffalo will hang on slightly. But I do have the Colts getting in though.
Pittsburgh is 6-5-1, bro. Don't forget they tied with Detroit.
But CEO has a very, very good point there. Pittsburgh's at 6-5. The Raiders are at 6-6. The AFC is not closed. It's not a closed book. It is not a closed book.
And the thing is, if you look at the ranking, then so even though the Colts have 7 wins, somehow Pittsburgh is above them at the 8th seed. Let that sink in. Pittsburgh is somehow has a better chance of getting in there. And if I'm not mistaken, they do it based solely off losses. I think that's like the first thing. I think it's like losses and then wins, if I'm not mistaken. Someone said so. It is our resident, intelligent, big brain boy, Trey. Break it down for my dumb ass.
No. So what we have to basically keep in mind is at this point. So the question was, do we see the Patriots? I mean, not the Patriots, the Bills getting in, right? Buffalo getting in. At this point, they're in at the 7th seed. All they have to do is not. I ain't got to be the fastest. I just got to be faster than the slowest. So at this point, everyone we're talking about is the slowest. All they got to do is stay ahead of them. And so when you look at let's take for instance the Indianapolis Colts. They got New England, Arizona, Las Vegas, and Jacksonville. That's a possibility of when they're already behind Buffalo.
Correct.
The possibility of going 2-2 in that slate. If Buffalo was to stay, as we stated before, it's 3-2, they're still ahead of them. And so it's one of those things like Buffalo has to just continue to down spiral to even be able to give up. The only thing they can do is go up at this point. And with the schedule, some of the schedules in which I'm seeing, unless we get the thing at the end of the year where everyone starts to rest their players because they're afraid of injuries. If it continues on the way it is, which actually this has been a very wonky season where you don't know who after the midpoint, you don't know who's liable to win. Jacksonville can sit up and win out for all we know. And you know what I'm saying at this point. So that's what we got to keep in mind. Like this point, Bills are in even as a 7th seed. Everyone else is behind them with less wins. and they have to basically Buffalo has to lose again, which is it's a possibility, but I mean it's less than likely that they're going to go and have a
horrible
3-2, a 2-3, or 1-4 for the last 4-5 games. So I think this is just like I said, it's just a matter of it's Buffalo's. It's Buffalo, so they control their own fate, regardless of what everyone else got going on. Buffalo controls their own fate by winning, by to continue to win or win the majority of the last remaining games.
Yep, and 100%. That's really all it comes down to, because if they win, it doesn't matter what happens with everybody else. Like the Colts, the Steelers, the Raiders, they have to win and also hope that the Bills lose.
Correct.
And again, like you said, I see that they're more likely for me going 3-2 than 2-3 or 1-4. Like they're more likely to have a solid record. One question, real quick. Somebody said, if the Bills don't make the playoffs, who do you blame, the coaches or Josh Allen? Personally, I think everybody. I think because Josh Allen has had enough. Because I think Josh Allen has had enough games where you can say, "Come on, Josh, you could do better than that." And also the coaching, because there have been a lot of adjustments they need to make, and they haven't been making them. So for me,
but you know what?
I say both.
And I can't say that you're wrong, but there's one thing that you said yourself out of your mouth earlier that I want to take into account in this. He's getting better every single season. He's doing what he's supposed to do to improve every single season. And I'm going to go back to the point I made about Buffalo. I really think McDermott is mishandling this situation. At more and more, as I start to look at the games that they lose, they're not losing because they're getting their ass beat. They're losing on fourth quarter cabagles, and mishaps. They're not losing because, besides last night. And again, that's where I go back to. I'm going to point at this game right here. He say he look like Kimbo in the Patriots jersey.
Nah, bro. Damian and Greedy and Yuki, like a couple days ago, literally were just violating my will to live. Like I was just existing and they were frying me. But go ahead.
And you know what? TJ Jones, shout out to TJ, it's my boy. But perfect comic and perfect time. And this is what I'm getting at here is, Josh Allen, you can put the blame on it all you want, but good teams win good games when they're supposed to win. And that falls on the head coach. I don't care what goes on. You don't lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars. You have a game plan that's bulletproof no matter what mistakes you make. You're still careful enough to not to lose to fucking Jacksonville. Okay, yep. So I'm going to put this on McDermott. I'm looking at Jacksonville, and then I'm looking at that game last night. 222 rushing yards, and you threw the ball 30 fucking times. You didn't see the recipe? You were in the kitchen the whole damn time. You didn't see the recipe?
and I get your point, Jay. I do, but the way I look at it is, in terms of not making the playoffs, Josh Allen, I genuinely believe right now, Josh Allen should be able to, for instance, last night, he should have been able to go up to Sean McDermott and say, Coach, why don't we run the ball? I think you blame.
So wait, so you blame the downfall on Josh Allen not being able to go up and talk to
everyone.
Coach?
No. If they don't make the playoffs, I'm saying everyone needs to wear it. And I'm talking about the coaches because, like I said, hold on, Jay. Like I said, Jay. There have been a few games, and Greg knows this. I am a Josh Allen supporter.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Josh Allen supporter, but I have said there have been a few games where he has made some throws and some simple. For instance, the best one we could take,
I can point out some Kyler Murray ones.
Again,
I can, you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
But the point I'm making, Jay, is he's having enough of these where people now are looking at Josh Allen and saying, what are you doing? If you're doing it enough where people can look at you and say, what are you doing? And have a legitimate point, you need to wear it. Okay. That's why I'm saying, me personally, I think it falls on both. Because I genuinely believe Josh Allen should be able to go up to the coach staff and say, what the fuck are we doing? These wins are ridiculous. Tyler Bass just missed a 31 yarder, and he's a great kicker. He won't miss that any other day. And when he kicked it, it was perfect. And you literally just saw the wind take and go, what?
He should have called a damn audible and went to the run game.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Like this is stuff that
sometimes you got to call it Omaha.
Yeah. Start screaming Omaha. That's what I need from Josh Allen. Just start screaming Omaha and just confuse the shit out of everybody. Just start screaming.
I'm a type of person like I'm gonna blame it on both Josh Allen and Coach McDermott, but Coach McDermott is wearing most of this blame as well.
Yes.
But again, you gotta have your team fucking ready to play against Jacksonville. You can't get beat by just a running game alone. You can't have a quarterback throwing 19 yards and you still lose a game. That's embarrassing. As a coach, that will be embarrassing to me. Against the Colts, just getting beat on a running game. That's embarrassing to me. And make no adjustments. Josh Allen, I think he's a 4-year quarterback. Most people consider him top 5. You're a top 5 quarterback, and if everybody say he's better than Deshaun Watson will make that type of throw. Deshaun Watson don't look off the receiver. He will make that throw. He will make that type of throw. You have to see Cole Beasley wide open over that middle right there, one-on-one coverage. When they're bringing pressure, you knew they were going to bring pressure. You saw the box loaded up. You had one-on-one coverage across the board. The box was loaded up. They brought pressure. They brought Devin McCourty. They even brought the McCourty twins. You had one-on-one coverage. And then you had basically 2 receivers basically running the same type of route, a post over the middle and a post right behind them. And then that was the right play call. That was the right play call, but terrible execution of Josh Allen. You have to make that play to Cole Beasley. But I'm gonna just put most of the blame on the coach, because how you do not have your teams coming out ready to play against teams that you're supposed to be. That's embarrassing to me. So again, I'm putting it on Josh Allen too, but the coach is Sean McDermott's wearing most of the blame from having his team not showing up ready to play against teams he actually supposed to beat.
Yeah, 100%. And again, this is all this assuming they don't make the playoffs. I still genuinely believe they will. It's going to be tough. It definitely is a fall from grace because, a lot of people had them penciled in to go back to the AFC in a rematch against the Chiefs. And the way they've been playing is not looking like it. And again, like I said, I think everybody needs to wear it. I think everyone has some type of culpability in this. But moving on, Jay, let me start with you. Power rankings.
McLovin or Nez?
You said what? Nah, McLovin. Nah, matter of fact, Jay, you last. I'm gonna skip you just for this one. Jay McLovin, let me start with you. Give me your power rankings. Top 5 teams in the NFL.
Yeah, hold on. Hey, come out to me second because I had to pull it up.
Greg, go ahead. And let me guess. Chiefs. I just
He said Chiefs.
No, Chiefs. Let's see. So at 5, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the Packers at 5, and Aaron Rodgers still.
Hold on, Greg. Can you
let him go, Pride. Let him go.
No, I want to hear the little bit of context. I want to hear why you got them at 5. I'm gonna hear you out.
Where's Freddie at?
I have them at 5. Packers, they're still playing well. Defense there is still good. I have them at 5 right now. It has less to do with them with more than how other teams are getting better. So
you have 4 teams. So you got 4 teams better than the Packers, and that's why you got them at 5.
That's why I have them at 5. Yes. So at 4, I'm gonna go with Tampa. Tampa's still playing well. Tom Brady. 3, I'm gonna go with
Bills.
No. 3.
Bills my number 2. Just for that, keep playing with me.
3. I'm gonna go with the Pats. I'm gonna go with the Patriots at 3. Playing well on a 7-game winning streak. Defense is still, playing well. 2, I got my Kansas City Chiefs. We are back. 5 straight wins.
Pop off, King. Pop off, King.
number one, we've had the best scoring defense since week 6. This defense, the complete turnaround that has happened. Because we were trash the first half of the season, complete trash. And now to be the best scoring defense since week 6. Awesome turnaround. Great job by Spags also. Number 1 is still the Arizona Cardinals. As long as Kyler Murray is healthy, the Arizona Cardinals are going to go to the Super Bowl. As long as Kyler Murray is healthy, they're going to go.
One more time.
They're going to go to the Super Bowl.
No.
Yeah, as long as Kyler Murray is healthy, they're going to go to the Super Bowl.
Thank
That's
you,
just what it is.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
McLovin,
all right. Yeah. Hey, listen. Number 1, I'm not going against the man, the GOAT. I'm not going against Tom Brady. Hell no. Tom Brady, number 1. I got Tampa number 1. I do like Kyler Murray, and I do think he's going to be in there. So I got Arizona Cardinals at number 2. At number 3, I'm looking at Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, and number 4 and 5 could be interchangeable. But I think number 4 is going to be New England, and 5 KC, just because that defense on KC. So yeah, that's fine. I do think that New England is going to rise up in that top 5 rankings as the season finishes up.
Okay. Jay, obviously you got Arizona at 1. So who's your 2 through 5?
I'm gonna start at 5. To Greg over there, I'm gonna put your boys here. Kansas City, they got beat up by a lot of people in the beginning of the season, and they've made a roar back. I think they're one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now, so I got them sliding in at 5. Then looking there, what the New England Patriots did last night was great. And you got Bill Belichick there, and they're clicking at the right time. And you got Mac Jones playing well, so I got them at 4. Plus their schedule, I think their schedule leading now is going to be a little bit easier of a path than Kansas City's as well. This one here, we're talking about the next 3, the best quarterbacks in the league. They all happen to be in the NFC. You got Brady, then you got Aaron, and then you got my boy, Mr. Buddha himself. So Kyler, like Greg said, Kyler Murray, barring injuries, he's going to the Super Bowl, is the most valuable player of the league this year by far. And it's very simple. Kyler Murray at number 1. Cardinals are going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Coach, what's your top 5?
I got Kansas City at 5. I think they're finding their groove on the defensive side of the ball. I think defense is starting to figure them out a little bit, how they play. I think they didn't caught on to them. I think that offense at some point is going to catch on. But right now, Steve Spagnuolo has done a great job with his defense, and I got Kansas City at number 5. Number 4, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was a pretty deep, okay win against Atlanta. Atlanta is terrible. Atlanta is terrible. So I got Tampa Bay at number 4. At number 3, I got Green Bay. Number 2, I got New England. I think New England is the hottest team in the NFL, right? Probably right in the AFC right now. They're the hottest team. It's an amazing job. I think they start off 2-5. I don't know. They start out 2-5, and all of a sudden this defense caught fire. Every time the 2 coaches, every time you count out and when you think they out, they will always find a way to make adjustments. That is Bill Belichick and Nick Saban. Them 2 coaches will always find a way to try to pull something off when you think they're gonna not. And you think they don't have a chance. So I got the Patriots at number 2, and number 1. It's not even a question. It's Arizona.
So 5, I got Kansas City. Their defense is starting to come alive. It's kind of weird because now the defense is starting to come alive. The offense is starting to, I don't want to say they're falling off, but it's almost as if they're starting to get a little tired because of the first half of the season. They had to do literally everything in their power just to keep them in the game. So now their offense is starting to dip a little bit. I do think eventually they'll get back up. and then they'll be able to equal out. But for now, I'm gonna have them at 5. 4. I'm gonna put Tampa Bay here. Tom Brady he leads the league in touchdowns. He's playing MVP caliber football. The injuries, especially on the defensive end, and the defensive inconsistencies have been a little worrisome for me. However, if there's one person in the league who can work with that and make it work, it's Tom Brady. So because of that, I'm gonna give the Bucs 4. 3. I gotta give it to the New England Patriots. They're the hottest team in the AFC. They're chilling right now. 7 straight. We started 2-4. Now we've won 7 straight. Literally just doing whatever we had to do to win. That's all it really came down to. 2. I'm gonna put the Green Bay Packers. I do like the Packers. I don't think this is their year. I really don't. But I do like them in the sense that this kind of does seem like the last year. They're having like their last hoorah. Jair Alexander is still out. We'll see when he's gonna come back. He's rehabbing. He went out week 4. I believe it was like a sprained shoulder or something along those lines. He's kind of rehabbing. Eventually, he'll be back. So I do like the Packers, but the Cardinals, now they're all healthy. Kyler Murray came back and played as if he was never hurt. So when you're able to come back and all of a sudden just be like, we're good. To me, that's impressive. So I'm gonna give it to the Cardinals. Real quick before we move on, real quick around the horn, Coach. Let me start with you. Tyreek Hill or Stephon Diggs?
It's tough. I know Tyreek Hill. He's a speedster. Tyreek Hill's a speedster, but as far as elite route running, catching the ball, I'm gonna take Stephon Diggs, man. That guy route running is elite, bro. And what he did to Marshawn Lattimore made Marshawn Lattimore make it seem like he wasn't even one of the best corners in the league. As far as catching, route running, I got Stephon Diggs.
And by the way, this is for third. By the way, this is for the third best because obviously it's Devontae Adams and D Hop. So just throwing that out there. Packers in top 5 makes no sense. Meanwhile, you had Ravens at 1. So do me a favor, go to sleep. Greg,
and then they just lost. They just got embarrassed by Pittsburgh. So you don't got no right to put them in the top 5.
Right. So again, anyway,
the Packers should be in the top 5 though.
You said what, Jay?
The Packers should be in the top 5.
You said they should be?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That is what it is. Greg, who you got if you have to pick between Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs? The shirt already snitched you out, so go ahead and say why Tyreek Hill is all of a sudden better than Jerry Rice.
Hey, Tyreek Hill. I'm taking Tyreek Hill over Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs is good. No, I'm not. It's no shade towards him, but Tyreek Hill, as the years have gone on, he's become a better route runner. He's had some cases of the drops here the past couple games, but other than that, give me Tyreek Hill. You can't coach speed. So give me him. If I can just throw it up, I know that he's gonna be there. Tyreek all day.
Okay. Jay, McLovin.
I still got Tyreek Hill as well, just because, like Coach said, you can't coach speed. Speed is something. Hey, the boy he's fast and he can run routes. No, I still got. And he's obviously been to the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl. He has experience. He has experience, speed, and great route running. Yeah.
Okay.
But I like Stephon Diggs.
All right. And then Jay, Sons Jay. Who you got? Hill or Stephon?
This is kind of depends to me. This is a personal preference. Basically, I'm going to have to see depending on, what quarterback you got. But in all actuality, I'm going Stephon Diggs here. I like the way that he comes and gets the ball at the point of attack. And he doesn't drop passes. What was that? The first drop pass he had in 114 attempts?
It's been a while.
Yeah. The one thing I'll tell you about Tyreek Hill, Greg, how many times has the ball hit him in the face?
It's happened a lot this season. I'm not gonna lie, it will hit him and it pops up in the air and then it gets picked. I'm like, now I can hear from Pride how Mahomes is throwing picks and it's because Tyreek Hill is letting the ball hit his face.
You're right.
So, yeah.
Every single pick was like that, 100%.
Hey, wait. So I'm gonna go back to my boy. What he said was, we all know Nuke is the best, and that's because he don't drop passes. We didn't ask you about that, Cried. We just said,
no. Well, I'm just
DeAndre Hopkins is the best receiver in football.
I disagree.
When healthy, DeAndre Hopkins is the best receiver in football.
Easily the best football.
Easily the best.
No, I don't think. It's not that easy. It's not that easy.
It's not even close,
That's like
man.
the same conversation.
I mean, Jordan Jefferson is good too. Now.
To me, it's the same conversation.
Jordan Jefferson is very good. He's very good. He's great, man.
No, to me, that's like
Jefferson's not on
the best tight end in the league. George Kittle or Travis Kelce. To me, that's what it is. I generally believe it's 1-2.
No. Wait, time out. They are not that close. George Kittle and Travis Kelce are not that close.
Like that, and it's not the other way around either. It's not Devontae Adams is that much great. To me, they're 1A, 1B, and ain't no way you finna say that.
I can't argue that.
Years ahead, and there's so much of it.
There's
not number 2. I got Hopkins as 1. Adams still 2. I got Adams as number 2. If you have Hopkins as 1, that's okay. Yeah, but to say that, easily or no.
I say easily, and the reason I say that is DeAndre Hopkins did it with who? Everybody.
With everybody.
He did it with
doesn't matter. He did it with I can name the quarterback. I can name the quarterback.
Better structured organization. So
I can name the quarterback.
A better structured organization.
He did it with Brian Hoyer, Brian Fitzpatrick.
What I'm saying is that
Tom Savage,
but is that
Brock Osweiler? And these were consistent. These were consistent numbers he put up.
All I'm saying,
I can't, Pride. I didn't hear any of your comeback.
No, I'm just
you were
saying,
trying to talk while coach was talking. So
I'm just saying, I don't think it's fair to because people always say, "Oh, D-Hop put up these numbers with these in essence scrubs." That's
okay.
What it is. But my thing is, I understand he did that. Is it fair to use that and knock Devontae Adams? Because
all right, so let me ask you this.
Let me ask you this.
I personally think that's fair. If every game was played, if every Buffalo game was played in 59-mile-per-hour winds, and then you're looking at their passing compared to another team that doesn't play in 59-mile-per-hour winds, we're going to take that into the fact, right? We're going to take that into account, right?
But it's not the end of what depends on what they do.
No, don't try to pick and choose. Listen,
I'm not trying
you're going to take that into account.
No. Yes. What you're not going to do is sit here and try to pretend you make some false point to try to win over some brownie points. No.
That's not a false point. You can use words. Time out,
I said it's not the end all and be all. I'm saying if you want to use that to credit D-Hop, fine. I'm saying that should not be used to kill Devontae Adams because he came in.
No.
Is that his fault?
We're not
playing for the team he's drafted for.
We're not killing it. We're telling you that you need to take that into account because what you're doing. Hold on.
No,
Don't
right,
interrupt. Wait, let me finish.
Adams is dog shit. He's
Pride.
Nelson Aguilar got better hands than him. He runs a route like he's literally dipped his.
You know what you do?
Cement.
Hey, it's okay if you talk over and prove your point. It's cool, but again, like I was gonna say, you have to take that into account. No matter what D-Hop is facing, no matter the quarterback throwing him the ball, whether it's a duck or not, D-Hop catches the ball, period. Now, and to end it all, back to the question, I got Diggs because of that same reason when you're comparing him and Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill lets the pigskin hit him in the face.
Devontae Adams is dog shit. He needs to retire, and he was a waste of a draft pick. I'm learning a lot of things from you guys today. I'm learning a lot today.
Hey, I'm glad you take on the key points.
Nah, bro, I'm learning a lot. You know.
I mean, I said that.
According to
they both the same type of player. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins can run routes. He can run the whole route tree as well.
Yep.
But he catches the ball. Thank you. He catches the ball a lot. Even in tough situations, he catches the ball.
Adams can run better routes than
that's not what he said. That's not what he said.
I didn't say he can run better. I said they both can run the same routes. DeAndre Hopkins.
I understand that, but hold on. If they all can run, the route tree, right? Then it goes, okay, if they could all run the route tree, then who runs the route better? Right?
That's not.
Say
That's not gonna.
route tree better.
But
they can all run routes.
He runs the same type of
so we
route
have
tree.
the context that D-Hop.
He runs every route. He runs every route.
We're not allowed to put the This is wild. I'm learning a lot today. So let me ask you a question, yo, Jay. Jay, let me ask you a question. So D-Hop better than Jerry Rice, right? Because he catch the ball,
right.
Right?
So look, man. Listen, Trolls came out in like 2009. Don't put the Trolls movie back on this is Sports Channel. You know what I'm saying? Take the Troll movie somewhere else, bro.
Look,
don't be bringing Jerry Rice into this.
This is the only thing I'm saying. I don't think it's a clear cut between D-Hop and Adams. That's just me. When people say easily, like me personally, I don't think so. I think it's the same question with the tight ends. Greg Kittle or Travis Kelce, I don't think it's a whole thing with, that's just me. But again, you're in Arizona. You're in Arizona, bro. You're in Arizona.
Now I'm a homer because D-Hop is good.
Anyways,
moving on.
I'm just jesting. Going to the NBA, real quick, let me be nice to Coach because his team, the Rockets. Oh, we don't want to talk.
I'm good. I'm good. No, I'm just joking. No. We can talk about it. I'm just joking.
No, I got you, Jay.
Because I got some. I'm glad you went to this.
No, bro, no,
I'm glad you went to this.
I get it. No, I get it. See, I keep making a mistake. I keep mistaking that Coach is a Rockets fan, but he's not. He's a Trailblazers fan. So let's get to the Trailblazer news. My bad, bro. My bad. Trouble in Paradise. Damian Lillard supposedly wants out. Supposedly. Now he went on Twitter. And by the way, if y'all
we probably talking about the Rockets, we go to the sorry ass Blazers.
But you told me to talk about your team.
No, I said I was waiting on that conversation to come up, but I'll talk about the Blazers too. I'll talk about them both.
We'll talk about them after, but let me be nice.
Right. Let me see your bowl of cereal. You got troll cereal in your bowl today?
I got what?
You got troll cereal in your bowl today?
Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. No. You want to hold on? You want to know this? I don't need nothing in my cup. You want to know why? Because I got bozos like this and I live in rent free. That fuel me up. That's right there. I don't need nothing.
No, he was actually. Hey, you misread what he said. He's actually talking on your side because what he was trying to say is that we're saying that he's a dog shit.
I don't want him on my side. I don't want him. If he's on my side, I'm on the wrong side. D-Hop is better. D-Hop is better now.
You can't come over here. We ain't got no room for. We ain't got no room for you over here though.
That's fine. But you know what? Then that's fine. Then guess what? Devontae Adams ain't good though. I'll be wrong by myself.
Let's go back to Portland then. So,
real quick, because I was just trolling real quick. Before we get there, I do want to give some love to the Houston Rockets who have been handling their business. So, Coach, I want you to have your moment. Pop off, rejoice. We're not gonna talk about who y'all beat. We're not gonna do that. You feel me? Y'all beat. Y'all just on a roll, bro. Go ahead. Have your moment, Coach. Have your moment. The Rockets are winning.
No, I'm not gonna have that moment, man. I'm not gonna overhype myself. I'm always gonna stay humble, but Rockets have been playing some good basketball, and then we did beat two playoff teams in now. So if y'all want to take the schedule, we did beat Chicago. It started with Chicago, and we went to overtime, and we outplayed Charlotte. Those are two good playoff teams in the Eastern Conference. Yes, we did. But I'm gonna blame you know who I'm gonna blame this winning streak on though? You know who I'm gonna basically blame this on? Huh? I'm going to blame this on Koo. I'm going to blame this winning streak on Koo. That's who I'm going to, in the Spotlight Sports Network, the dude that got the OKC profile, I'm going to blame you for this winning streak, for opening up your mouth about the Houston Rockets. And what you say, you said they are a disaster, they are a shit show. And guess what? Who the winning streak started with? It started with Chicago. It started with Charlotte. It started twice against OKC, which is the next night y'all got the hell beat out of y'all by 73 points. So it started with you, Koo. I'm gonna blame it on you. And then we beat Orlando, and we took out New Orleans, who that was a tough game. So I just want to give a shout out to Coach Steven Silas for making the adjustments. Ever since he went to the 3-2 zone, teams have been discombobulated. And then we don't even have Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. We're still managing to win games. Christian Wood is playing well. Everybody on the defense is playing well. I just gotta give credit to Coach Steven Silas for making the right adjustments, putting the right rotations in, man. That's all I want to say. I ain't got too much to say. I'm just humble, but I'm just glad the team is doing better.
Yeah, I mean, I will give y'all credit. Y'all dropped 146 on the Hornets. To me, that's impressive as shit. Jay, you wanted to talk about Portland, so let's get back there. He supposedly wants out. He's all mad, but then he goes on Twitter and says, nope, never said that shit. It's fake. Don't believe whatever you hear. So it's a whole bunch of weird stuff because supposedly the people who are saying that he demanded that he wants out are supposedly within his inner circle. So supposedly, I don't know what the fuck is going on with Dame because this is like the fourth time something like this has came out.
So at this point, I don't know why people get hyped over people talking about Dame, and if it ain't Dame talking about himself.
I'm more hyped about the fact Dame said he wanted to play with Ben Simmons. I'm more hyped about that.
But what I'm saying is we get this, everyone drums up all these, Dame, but we don't hear from Dame. When we hear from Dame that's when we should go ahead and move forward with all this stuff. Because Dame's, proved to us time and time again, we can't trust outside sources if it ain't came from him. You know what I mean? Dame will let us know when he's ready to go. I think that him and Chauncey, though, are going to have issues because Chauncey's dealing with a team that's falling apart, and he's going to be trying to make some major changes around how they operate and put it in his philosophies. And I think that's going to run into being an issue when you have Dame, who's been at that team, seen the way it's ran, and probably has his own vision of how it should be ran. And with them being as bad as they have been lately, I think that's going to end up being an issue in the locker room. Trying things that, maybe Dame's already tried there in Portland. And TJ, you're 1000% right. I've said it all year. I said it all year last year. I'll keep repeating it. As many games, every game that Portland goes into with Dame and McCollum as their 1-2 punch is bad. Every game that they do it from here on out is asinine, is insane, is dumb. They've should have had broke that up. And honestly, they waited too long. CJ McCollum 2 years ago, he could have warranted three first-round picks. He could have warranted some major names. He could have warranted.
He could have gotten you a couple first-rounders and a player, a starting caliber player.
Yep.
2 years ago, CJ McCollum was a commodity.
I mean, listen. Look at who's been traded. Look at the past few years who has been traded. Look, imagine if Shea Alexander ended up in Portland with Dame instead of CJ McCollum. Imagine if Russell Westbrook. Imagine if John Wall. Imagine I can go on and on of other guards that I'll still keep it in the kind of small point guard, caliber range. And there's other guards that I would have paired with Dame Lillard and had a much, much, much better, Chupapi Muñeño. But there's other guards out there that would have been a way better compliment to Dame Lillard and that Portland Trailblazers team.
Yeah, and real quick before I pass it on to you, Coach, the worst thing that they could have done was get to the Western Conference Finals with that 1-2 punch, because that's what they're still chasing. When they got to the Western Conference Finals, that in their mind they were like, "Oh, we have enough.
We're here."
And that's where they kind of shot themselves in the foot.
And real quick, Coach, before I do let you have it, I want to make one last point. This is almost as bad as Brandon Roy. It's been since Brandon Roy was in Portland that I've looked at this Portland organization and just seen failure written all over it. What they did to, keeping Brandon Roy down, I mean, they should have probably got rid of him before that last knee injury. And even when he came back after that last knee injury and he was putting in work, they didn't even go out and try to help him out until they got Damian Lillard in there. The last year Brandon was there. I
think he was there. If I'm not mistaken, he was there one more year. But was literally on the bench.
Yeah, he had one last year. He had 1 year with Dame Lillard, and you know what I mean. Brandon Roy, that team could have been doing something. So I look at this again, and I see a repeated thing with, what they handled and how they handled the Brandon Roy situation.
That's horrible, Coach. So obviously, Damian Lillard just keeps on saying over and over again when this stuff comes out. I never said it. Nothing like that. Oh, and by the way, we can fight about it.
Oh, come on.
I'm gonna get in trouble for that, Jay. If you want to yell at me, I will take it on the. I will take the yelling, and I will apologize to you right after.
Don't worry, just keep going.
Coach, every single time this stuff happens with Dame, he always comes out immediately and say, "I never said that," anything like that. But somehow it's always from his inner circle. Supposedly, we have legitimate, legit sources, all this stuff. So let me ask you a question. At some point, do you think Dame needs to look at his inner circle and figure something out? Because if this is constantly coming out, and again, they're saying it's a different source every time, don't you think at some point Dame got to start looking at his people and goes, "Hey, yo, what's going on?"
I mean, again, I've been saying this from time and time again. Portland should have broke the team up the moment they lost the Western Conference Finals. You just basically seen it was not going to work out between that combination of Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum. Like Jay said, 2 years ago, C.J. McCollum would have been the guy, lead 3 first-round picks and role probably a decent player. And he's starting to decelerate a little bit, get injury prone. He's starting to get injury prone because he played through the playoffs against the Lakers with a broken back. The organization literally has not done anything for CJ or Dame. So Dame needs to start looking at it. Hey, I can only do this for so long. I can't carry this franchise for too much more longer. He needs to start looking at other options. And I think Dame deserved better than what he's had over his career. His best team was LaMarcus Aldridge. The year that they it's probably you can say that Western Conference team was probably the best team, farthest they ever went, but probably the best team that they had with Wesley Matthews to his Achilles, and you had LaMarcus Aldridge on that team as well. That was LaMarcus Aldridge. That was the year that he went to San Antonio. The very next year, they was a pretty good team. But then, like I say, you got no defensive players around Dame and CJ to take any pressure off of these guys. These guys got to go at the top 2 positions in the NBA. You got literally no player, no defensive player, no defensive stud. You have no bench. You have Yusuf Nurkic, who can't stay on the basketball court. I mean, this organization just a mess. And then you get 145 points put on you by the Boston Celtics. You get trouted by the Boston Celtics. Chill out. Ridiculous. I mean, I'm not disrespecting Boston, and I hope they beat the hell out of LA, but that's unacceptable. The way for 145 points. Come on, man. Yeah, that's unacceptable by this goddamn defense. Unacceptable. So. I mean, again, I think they should have been broken this team up a long time ago since they lost that Western Conference Finals to the Golden State, and they really should have won it because they was up every single game, and they still lost. They were up every single game in that series, and they still lost the series. And
hey, but that's again, that's that organization, coach. Because you tell me after that series, they none of them getting on a bus. They all getting their own tickets home. They better call Ubers to leave the stadium. I mean, because I would have been pissed off. But again, that's that lackadaisy-ness that I've seen over the years with Portland's front office. They're very lackadaisy when it comes to improving and making actual moves to improve the team. I mean, they went out and got Carmelo, and then that was their major move for 2 years. They went out and got Covington. That was a major move for 2 years.
Jay,
so they don't ever go forward with it.
Jay, you said lackadaisical. It's worse than that. It's worse than that because there have been years where they literally went back with the same roster.
The same roster.
The same exact
They relied
roster.
on Zach Collins for so long. Where is he at now?
Bro, think about that.
He's in San Antonio. He's in San Antonio.
Hurt. Like, think about it. You're doing the same thing. Like the old saying goes, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome is the definition of insanity. And that's what they've been doing. They've been doing the same thing over and over and over, and then really got to surprise Pikachu face talking about, why isn't it working? Right. Like, everyone else around you is getting better. The Timberwolves are getting better. If the Timberwolves are getting better and you're not, You need to understand something. You need to start looking in the mirror and figuring out. Greg, let me ask you something. It's reported that Damian Lillard wants to play with Ben Simmons, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think that Portland going out and getting Ben Simmons, do you think that'll be enough to keep Dame, a little content and willing to stay?
No. There's a reason why the Sixers don't want Ben Simmons. Everybody tries to gloss over that. He's just, they just, it's just not working out. It's not working out because we saw what happened to Ben Simmons against the Atlanta Hawks in the playoffs. And now you want that to come to you. You think that's going to help you get over the hump? No, it's not. It's not. Ben Simmons is not, he can't shoot free throws. He's good on defense, but that's it. And that's not going to help Dame get to where he wants to go. He wants to get to a final. He wants to win. Ben Simmons is not going to help him get that. So that's not going to help. If Portland thinks that getting Ben Simmons is going to keep Dame in Portland, it's not. They need to need to think of something else.
And
then Pride, you're in the Western Conference. The Western Conference is strong, getting stronger and stronger every single season. So Ben Simmons, you think Ben Simmons going to Portland is supposed to impress and all of a sudden blow this team up when you're in the toughest conference?
I'm not saying that.
All of the NBA. No, I'm just saying by that coming out. I'm not buying that.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is because look, and this is what I'm trying to say. Portland literally cannot afford to lose Dame Lillard. They can't. They're not. So that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is from that point of view, there is no move, none whatsoever, that the Portland Trailblazers can make to be legitimate contenders in the West. The only way it'll happen is if all of a sudden Karl Anthony Towns says, I want out, and then Portland gets him. And then they keep Damian Lillard. And then they go get, Kawhi Leonard all of a sudden comes back healthy, and then he wants out, and then goes. That's the only way the Trailblazers have a chance is if all of a sudden they go and start plucking people from the roster willy-nilly. That's the only way.
But it all comes back to the square root, which is moving CJ. Nothing happens if CJ doesn't move, period.
Right, but here's the thing, and let me ask you a question. Matter of fact, Jay, I'll start this with you. Let's say they move CJ. We all agree that if they did this 2 years ago, they would have gotten a haul, right? Mm-hmm. Now, this year, not so much. What do you think would be a legit package that they should accept, right? And again, you don't got to name players, but do you think it should just be a player for player? You think it should just be TJ for picks? At this point, this is a scrap and rebuild. They've already passed the trade and retool portion of this. Damian Lillard is in the latter half of his career. You don't have a team that's at the caliber for a retool. You don't have a team that has enough bright spots on it to just say, hey, we're a couple of pieces away. When you look at what they're facing on the uptrend, you got Phoenix, you got Golden State, and then I'm just going to talk about the Lakers. Those three teams right there. Just to be able to even compete for a Western Conference championship, you have to be in those caliber of those three teams. And they're nowhere close. So when I look at this is not a retool. This is not I'm going to trade player for player. This is OKC 2 years ago. I'm trading my whole team and I'm taking a bag of picks. So, okay, so you're talking about a full-blown
it's over.
Blow it. Okay.
They waited too long.
Coach, do you agree?
Hell yeah, I agree. They should have been broken this team up and went. It's not going to work in the Western Conference. You got too many teams that is too strong. If you like Jay said, you're not up there with the Lakers or Even the Timberwolves gotten better than you. The Timberwolves have gotten better than you. So
Sacramento.
come on, man. Sacramento is really good. It's really better. It's really better than what they are showing. So again, I mean, the Clippers are a borderline playoff team. You see what they did in the playoffs without Kawhi Leonard? I mean, yeah, that's on sign that you need to blow this whole thing up by trading CJ and Dame. That's what I do. I do it for just Dame. I just do it for just Dame. He deserved better. And again, if the Timberwolves are better than you, then hey, that's a sign right there. This team just need to blow it up. The team just need to go.
You already know. You already know. Greg, I'm assuming you're in the same boat at this point. They just got to break everything down and they just got to start from scratch.
Yeah, break it up, start from scratch, trade CJ and Dame, just start over. Portland, I think the reason why they can't get those big name free agents is because the organization is not good. It's not good. I mean, you just stay stagnant. You held on to this team with CJ and Dame for so long, and you did nothing to make them better. You brought in an aging Melo. Like what? Like that's not gonna help anything. That's not gonna get you to where you want to be, which is being in the finals. So the organization is not run good. And now they're kind of like suffering, from that because once CJ and Dame leave Portland, nobody's going to talk about them. They're not going to be on. They're not going to be on TNT or ESPN or nothing. So
yeah, and it's a shame because this could have been something extremely special. Next conversation, we do have the Bulls. We're talking about DeMar DeRozan, and obviously, we need the resident Bulls fan, Bulls expert. Oh, and by the way, Mike, don't I saw what you typed in the chat. Appreciate it, but not worthy of your time. You feel me? Way too late. You feel me?
Oh no.
Way too late. It's like Diet Coke. You feel me?
Hey, my next class don't start till 11 Central. I got time. We good.
Let's go. Let's go. Yo, we got time today, baby.
We got time today.
So, Mike, let me start with you. DeMar DeRozan is playing arguably the best basketball of his career.
Oh, no doubt.
So, do you think he should be he should legitimately be in the conversation for MVP?
Yeah, without a question. Like if we're gonna base it off of who's popular and who's gonna actually win MVP, it's not DeMar DeRozan by any way, shape, or form. The ongoing joke is you need to be in MVP conversations for at least 3 years before you win an MVP, and that's just the reality of it. There's been times Bron has been snubbed. What's up, my boy? But it's definitely one of those things though where if you haven't been in the conversation ever, and it's your first year, you're probably not gonna win it. So that's definitely something I look at. But DeRozan, man, top 3 in scoring in the league right now. I think he's was number one for quite some time now. I don't know where that's going to be at by the next 10 days. But yeah, it's definitely something where DeMar deserves it, and he's hooping. And from it being the worst free agency signing according to Stephen A. Smith, and something that wasn't going to work, to being tied for the number 1 seed and being an MVP candidate. Suck my balls, Stephen A. Smith, and I'll say that till the day I die. Suck my Irish nuts, because everything that comes out of Chicago needs to burn in the eyes of Stephen A. Smith, but he's a Knicks fan, so that's neither here nor there. We'll just leave that be.
Oh, so you're done?
Oh yeah, that was it. I'm chilling.
Oh wow. I expected a diatribe. I'm not even gonna lie. By the way, I know words are hard. Diatribe, it's a big word. Bozos got internet. Oh no, they don't, because they prefer handouts. Sorry about that. I went on a little sideways tangent. I'm being petty.
Toxic.
Gritty and Yuki, Mike, a question for you. Damn, Mike, who hurt you?
A lot of people. It's all good. All love.
100%. Coach, let me ask you something. Kind of to piggyback off of Mike's point. If you have not been in the MVP conversation before, this is your first time. A lot of times you do get brushed off to the side. Do you think DeMar DeRozan has the chance to change that?
I think he has a chance to change that, but Would he get the MVP? I don't think he would, but I think he deserved, like I said, to be in a discussion. He's clearly changed his team. I'm happy about this Bulls organization. I mean, they're a great team over there, and I'm happy that the front office helped Zach LaVine out. Zach LaVine was on the verge of leaving. They helped him out with two basically borderline all-stars, an NBA champion, and Alex Caruso. Lonzo Ball shooting over 40% from the three-point line, which is, I think, again, I've got to give him credit for working on his shooting. His shot form chain is very good, man. His shot form is legit. That's the one thing why I think that was going on with his shooting. His form just wasn't great. Now his form looks better than ever. He can knock down shots. He's a great defender. He's a great play. He's always been a great playmaker, and I'm happy to see this guy succeed. I think the Bulls are a great team, but again, I want to see playoff DeMar DeRozan, and I think we will see a different DeMar DeRozan in the playoffs because you do have Zach LaVine. You do have Vucevic who can knock down open shots on pick and pop situations. You do have Alex Caruso who can guard anybody from 1 through 3. You do have him, and you got some young guys, Jalen Johnson, and you got Kobe White who can come off that damn bench and make some shots as well. So again, I'm happy about this Bulls team, man. They're a very good team, and I think you'll see a better balanced DeMar DeRozan in the playoffs because he doesn't have to worry about some of that wear and tear and that pressure that he the only one have to score like him and Kyle Lowry. He doesn't have to worry about that. You got Zach LaVine who can fill it up. You got Vucevic who can knock down shots and also play in the post. So it's going to be a lot of pressure off DeMar DeRozan. I think you'll see a better playoff DeMar DeRozan this year.
I will say this though, Coach, just really quick. I was with you. I have no idea what you meant by Jalen Johnson. He's on the Bears, but
my bad. I forgot. It's another Johnson on that team. I think it's another Johnson.
I know who you're talking about. Okay.
My bad.
I was just like, for a second, I was like, who are we talking about real quick?
But yeah, obviously, Coach, you're right. I mean, he doesn't really need to do anything too wild in the playoffs because now he has up, and on top of that, we have to also put this into perspective, right? A lot of people say who don't watch basketball, they always say that he's just a scrub in the playoffs, but that's not the truth. Truth is he's straight whenever he played LeBron. If he didn't play LeBron, he was actually pretty respectable in the playoffs. So DeMar DeRozan. In the playoffs, he was respectable. Yeah, it was respectable. It wasn't nothing, like out of the room. But to say that he was trash in the playoffs, I think that just shows you don't know what you're talking about. Because the only time he really wasn't trash, he just kind of shrank whenever he would play LeBron. So again,
and Allah, so did Paul George. So did anybody in
the during the abysmal. Paul George was abysmal before last year. Before last year in the playoffs.
But I mean, even going back to the Danny Granger days when Paul George was in Indiana and the Danny Granger days with younger Braun and they were having those duels. You know what I mean? Like, listen, guys, we got Michael Jordan, you got yourself some Magic Johnson, you got yourself some Kobe Bryant, and now you got yourself a LeBron James. LeBron James is going to eliminate a lot of people from receiving championships, just like Kobe, like Jordan did. And so when we look at guys like DeMar DeRozan, I'm sorry, he had the best regular season team year in and year out that had to just go up against one of the best young basketball players of that time. And look, we fast forward 5-10 years later, and he's still doing it.
Right, but
you know what I mean. So it's not a point on DeMar.
I will say, just to your point, I don't know if we're gonna classify Bron as being the reason guys don't have rings. I'll say Bron is the reason a lot of guys haven't made it to the finals because a lot of people have eaten and gotten championships during the Bron era. Like we're talking like during Kobe's era.
Agreed.
The 3P, the Jordan era, you had
and if you want to say, I'm
like,
not.
That's no shot. But
I know what you're saying. No, I know what you're saying because I do see where you're coming from. I'm just talking about DeMar DeRozan specifically.
Yeah, no, that's
all.
And that's 100. But to your point, Mike, in Kobe's generation, you had Duncan.
Right. No doubt. So
now at sport we had a Steph Curry.
Right.
Yeah. But going back to the Chicago Bulls and DeMar, let's keep in fact, to me, DeMar DeRozan this year should be a candidate for most improved compared to what he was doing the last 2 years and what he's doing this year. I mean, look, the dude is shooting 49% from the field. He's shooting 88% from the free throw line. He's shooting 33% from the three-point line. He's almost at a 40-50, a 40-50-90. So people aren't taking into effect Rosen is actually doing out there. He's not just going out there and putting up high volumes of points. He's doing it efficiently. And that's what's driving this team to be so successful than what they are being. And look, let's put this in perspective. 2 years ago, we were talking about Zach and where Zach was at and where Zach needed to go to bring his game to that next height. Everyone was talking about how athletic Zach was and what was going to be the pair, what was going to be that guy that would come in and complement Zach. This is the perfect guy. We're sitting there looking at a guy that doesn't have to take a high volume of shots and still gets his points. He doesn't even need to be the main piece of a team. He's still gonna get his points. DeMar DeRozan is a perfect complement to Zach LaVine. The Chicago Bulls did great going out and finding the perfect complement to Zach LaVine, and I really think that deep in the playoffs with Zach and you got Lonzo, and then you put in DeMar. That 1 through 3 right there, defensively and offensively, is going to tear teams apart in the playoffs.
Right, and it's definitely something. Pride, it's okay. Pride, it's okay. It's okay, Pride. But
they just love hurting my feelings in the chat.
We're just gonna let it ride. But with the Bulls, last night, and I'm not gonna go off on a whole thing about it, but not having DeMar DeRozan, Kobe White, Javonte Green, Pat Williams, and Alex Caruso, we still beat the Nuggets even with Joker. So it was something where it's not that we don't need DeMar, but we have somewhat of a big three even without him. Lonzo stepped up in a big way, dropping 20 with 8 rebounds. Nikola Vucevic, he's top 10 big man in this league. Now, to be in all respect, I have him somewhere from 7 to 10. I have nowhere in my top 5. But I think 7 to 10 top 10 big men in the league is fair to say. You're an all-star last year. Like, this need DeMar to be Superman, but that's exactly what he's being without even really having to try. Now, if DeMar can get more shots than Zach in a game, I'm curious if he's averaging 40 every night. Now, that's something I'm really curious about. Now, the COVID bug, LeBron wants to post about, something's fishy over here. I'm just saying the Bulls got good and now everybody's got COVID. That's a little crazy, boys. I'm just saying they don't want
you're a whole clown.
They don't want to.
But just let me put this last comment on it, because that's how it started, to the point of DeMar actually being able to win the MVP and being his first time kind of in that race. I think it's a little different than we looked at like a Giannis or Steve Nash or Chris Paul when they had their first introduction to that same race, is because DeMar has kind of been up there at the elite status for quite some time and just never got that extra push into it. So I think DeMar has a leg up for being a first-time member, so to speak, of the MVP candidate club than the others. But again, it all comes down to what we've all talked about on this show. And, at the end of the day, I think that it would be it wouldn't make as much of an impact if Giannis, Chris Paul, or somebody of that nature, or even Zach LaVine would make a bigger impact winning that MVP than them giving it to DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah. Right. And Greg, let me ask you a question, because somebody brought up a point that, frankly, we haven't really touched upon. DeMar DeRozan, especially in his final year in Toronto, didn't look the same. You could tell emotion was off. His entire Spurs tenure, you can tell mentally he wasn't fully there. In Chicago, this dude literally looks like I can go out there, go over, beat dog shit, have everyone yell at me, and I will still mentally be fine, and I will still feel good. Greg, do you think that him being, it does seem like he's happier, do you think that had some contribution to him all of a sudden just having almost like a career renaissance?
Because we got bad bitches.
Yeah, it definitely helps when you're happy somewhere, like genuinely. Like it's gonna help you be more lax and and play with more of a freedom than maybe he did with the Spurs and then that last year with the Raptors. So anytime you enjoy the place that you're working at, you're gonna, have a better performance. So, but DeRozan is out here balling, man, and just like y'all said, he was never trash during the playoffs. Whoever was saying that, I don't know what they, be watching, but
Greg, they're idiots.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't there. He wasn't trash. It was just, he came up small, against Braun or whatnot. But that doesn't make him a trash player. So he's always been good. I'm glad that he's getting his shine now with the Bulls. The Bulls have a legitimate championship type team now. I know everybody wants to give it to Brooklyn. They got KD. I get it. But Chicago has a legitimate championship team. Like, they are really good. So, man, DeRozan, he out here balling, though. He should be a MVP candidate for sure.
Yeah, and again, obviously I like this team. I'll be honest, I wasn't really high on them because I didn't think it really would matter in terms of getting wins. I'll be honest, Mike. I'm gonna keep it a stat. I really wasn't sure how it was gonna work, but like I've always said this: if you have a team with, like, on paper that they're better, but nobody knows their role, they're gonna fail. And that's the thing that Chicago is. Everyone knows their role. Everyone understands what I'm doing.
Right, that was my big thing. That was my last point I wanted to make too with you too, Pride, because me and you talked about it all off season, and Jay and I talked about it too because I was asking Jay a couple questions about Chris Paul's availability. I ain't even gonna lie, I was tampering out there. I was trying to see what's the what, and then I ended up tampering with New Orleans. So it's all good. It's all good. But my biggest thing is what makes this, in my opinion, a big four, an underrated big four, is because obviously Vooch is a part of the big three. It's Vooch, DeMar, and Levine. Lonzo's kind of the odd man out from a statistical standpoint because he's not doing everything. He's not averaging 20 points a night like he did last night. Here's my thing, though. The reason it's a big four is because I think the reason DeMar is so good is because Kyle Lowry needed to score. Fred VanVleet needed to score. Buddy Hield, De'Aaron Fox, that whole thing. No, wait, what am I talking about? That's the Kings, not the Spurs. I don't even know, guys. Same shit, horrible organization. But my biggest point to all of it was every point guard he's ever played with needed the ball. Every single one of them. Even Kyle. Early on in Kyle's career really needed the ball. Now he's becoming more of a floor general, and that's exactly what Miami needs at this point in time. And that's perfectly fine. I feel like he learned that by facing Bron, that he needed to get someone involved like Kawhi. And he learned that. He learned he could win a championship that way, and that really did help with Siakam and so on and so forth. But with Lonzo, like, this works because, number one, Billy Donovan. Billy Donovan's offense runs through a floor general. It doesn't run through a Russell Westbrook. It's not going to work with a Russell Westbrook. That's why he won Coach of the Year the second he left, and he had Chris Paul. Now, you look at it like that, you have Lonzo Ball. I say this is a big four, Pride, for the simple reason that Lonzo Ball understands his role. He knows I'm going to give DeMar these looks because I don't need them. And as long as we're scoring, who gives a shit? And that's the most beautiful thing about this team. I wish Patrick Williams was healthy. I wish he didn't have a season-ending injury because that boy's – I'm not even going to front. His offense is sus, but that boy's defense is insane. They call him Kawhi 2.0. We already got Caruso and Lonzo leading the league in steals. Like, we would have been probably one of the biggest faces in the league. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I do think it's kind of a big four, a very underrated big four, and we're 2-0 against Brooklyn. So I don't care what the stat says. We own Brooklyn. We're the Kings of New York, baby.
I mean, look. Again, I'll give you that. Because again, you guys are playing. You guys are playing at a great level. You know what I mean? And I'll be honest. I don't think you guys will win the East.
That's fine.
However, I do think whoever you guys play, they're gonna have their hands full.
Yeah,
they're gonna have their hands full. And I don't think you guys will get swept. But even if y'all do, it's gonna be a very competitive game. Each and every single game is gonna be competitive. to the point that you got to earn every single win.
Right.
And this is something no one really talks about the Bulls. Look, bro, I understand Zach LaVine, he a light skin, but homeboy gritty.
He's a brother.
He gritty now. He's sick and tired of losing now. So go ahead, Jay.
No, I'm just looking through here, and we kind of made fun of earlier Portland, and talking about how the Timberwolves are better. The Kings are right there. I mean, we're just seeing the reorganization of the elites. And I think, we've seen Chicago take that leap. The Suns last year took that leap back up into the upper echelon. And my question now is what is Golden State going to look like with a healthy team? Because at the end of the day, we know what to expect. From the other squads. We know what to expect from Brooklyn. We know what to expect from Philadelphia. I know what to expect from my team. I know what to expect from Utah. Just looking at the tops, Brooklyn, those things. So when I look at Golden State, they're my wild card of this year. Golden State Warriors can come back with Jameis Wiseman. Yeah, they're my wild card this year. They're the ones that can change everything as far as the playoffs go. Right. If Wiseman and Clay come back, and if Clay's 60% of what he was, remember, Clay doesn't dribble the ball. He don't have to dribble the ball to score. Clay, all he needs to do is be in the position and catch. So if Clay to even 60% of the form that he was, then you bring back Jameis Wiseman. Now you got this big man coming off the bench in the playoffs with a sharpshooter like Clay back on that team, and Poole playing the way he is. They're my wild card. They're the ones that can really come back and just take over, because no one's seen them last year in the playoffs.
Right.
We don't know what to expect coming into it.
Right. But Jay, can I ask you, my boy Zach, if you could pull up the comment, made a comment about is Clay going to be the same player? Now, here's my real question. Clay's one of my favorite players in this league, so
correct.
I'm going to go out there and say that he will be. I don't think you can change that shot. I don't think it really affects it the way it affects other people's games. If this was a big man who tore his Achilles and his ACL, that's a different conversation. But shooters shoot at the end of the day, correct, regardless. I think his defense might take a step back. But I think offensively he'll be fine. The real question is Poole going to be the same player that he was once you have Klay Thompson getting full minutes, not coming off the bench, not getting rested minutes? We might see Klay start, but Jordan play more minutes. Do you think, though, when they're at full strength going into the playoffs, do you think Jordan Poole continues to play the way he is with Klay, with Wiseman, with everyone coming back in this offense? Because it's definitely going to shake it up.
I will say this before, Jay, let me hop in here before I let you go. I think he'll have the opportunity, because if, let's say, Klay comes back and he's not the same,
right, you
do have another option now.
Right, no doubt.
You know what I mean? So I think that's really where it's going to go, where they're going to be like, oh, Klay's having an off night. All right, Klay, go worry about defense. Jordan Poole can step up. So I think that's how it's going to go. I think Jordan Poole, he's basically going to become the guy who fills in when someone else is down. You know what I mean? Either right, that, or if they're resting or injury or something like that.
Do you think that affects his consistency now? Like, we've seen it so many times before on championship level teams, guys don't look good as role players. Now
it's a possibility, but
like Kuzma, like, we're not going to say, but not who Kuzma is, because Kuzma, Pride, say it with me now, dog shit.
Yes,
my thing is that kind of Kuzma role, if you give him all of this opportunity and you're starting to see it at a consistent basis, Jay, would you want to take that away? Would you want to mess with that?
So before you real quick, Jay, I think we have to take it. I think what you have to keep in mindset, just like you was talking about Kuzma, or even you talking about Poole, but the main part, especially when we're talking about Klay, is you have to take in consideration the part in which not many people sit up and take in consideration, because it's basketball or because it's sports. The physical isn't really that big of a factor. It's the mental. So you got to think now Klay is coming back from a very long layoff, in which is true enough, like he might get, but it's going to be the mentality, the rigors in which come in play when you got these big grown men that's coming after him or someone running past him. He's a shooter, someone running past him, even though we know that's not legal. But someone, how they jump out, how they close out on them, all that's going to come into play. In terms, just like we was talking about Poole, same scenario. Now Poole, if he's regulated, even though I don't think it's going to come right off the rip, they're going, even though Clay's playing in the G League, it is the G League, it's not the pros. Even though that's not to say that they're not ready, but he's going to come back. They're not just going to throw Clay in there. I'm very sure he's going to have some restrictions as he gets his scruples about himself. But even in that case, either one of them were, where Clay might feel like he's ready and Steve's like, nah, you're not ready to go with, just hold it up. That mental is what, that those mental points and resiliency is what's going to come into play as they go forward. So that's more so that I think that's more so the question. Are they mentally, if Poole and Clay and Wiseman, are they mentally stable and mentally ready for what they're about to embark on?
And Jay, I see you now.
Well, here's the
I'm
thing.
assuming that's the point you want to make.
No, he made a great point. But here's the thing that you guys we got to keep in mind. When we've talked about Paul George, we've talked about Kevin Durant, we've talked about these guys coming back from major injuries. To his point there, all these guys, they handle the ball and they attack the rim. They're more shot creators than actual shooters. And that's the difference here with I think we have with Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson doesn't need to attack the rim. Klay Thompson does not need to, put himself in predicaments where his mind is thinking, what's going to happen when I come down? What's going to happen when I take this jump shot in traffic with 2 or 3 people around me? Am I going to come down on somebody's ankle or foot or something of that nature? So I think that Klay has a little bit of a boost when it comes to that mental factor as far as coming back from an injury of this caliber compared to other players to have had type of injuries. Now, in the remarks, Golden State themselves and Jordan Poole, keep in mind as well, Jordan Poole to me is the perfect Jordan Clarkson candidate. Jordan Poole is the perfect sixth man to come off this bench and fill multiple spots. He can come off and play defense. He can come off and be that offensive spark plug that they need, like Jordan Clarkson has become with Utah. So if we can get Klay to be 70% of himself, if Klay can sit there and take those threes and alleviate that pressure that Steph Curry has right now, because he's their real big outside threat and almost their only one at the moment, then that's going to change things. Now, a la Andrew Wiggins.
I was about to say
that's the important piece.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Jay,
Andrew Wiggins is the glue in this. No, Andrew Wiggins is going to be the glue in this, because if Andrew Wiggins can play defense the way he's played defense this year and he can step that side up, then Klay Thompson's comeback is easier than said, because now Klay Thompson doesn't have to worry about guarding the first or maybe even the second best player on the court. Okay, now Klay Thompson can go ahead and, hey, we're playing Danny Green tonight. Klay, I just want you to sit with Danny. Danny's going to be sitting in that corner. Go sit over there with Danny. So that's where this team, and I've liked what's done over the past 2 years, with this whole injury situation that they've been dealing with. They went in and plugged in places to where I think it's going to help Klay come back. It's going to help him take pressure off of what assignments were prior to him being injured. So Klay Thompson is one of the few players that I believe that can come back from an injury like this, jump right back into the swing of things, and still be productive like he was. And again, he's one of the best shooters in this game. And if he can stand on those legs, which I know he can, then you're in trouble. He's still dangerous. All he has to do is stand up and catch the ball.
Yeah, and here's the thing, because we keep saying, that the mental aspect. I don't think when he comes back, it's going to play that much of a factor, considering he's in the G League and that's his rehab assignment. Like, that's kind of where he's getting over that mental, how are my legs really feeling in a game sense? Oh, they're feeling good.
Correct.
I feel comfortable. He's going to feel more comfortable. So when he steps on the court in a professional setting, it won't be as bad because he already had some, in terms of a game sense, he's already had a little bit of that, experience under his belt. So he understands, okay, I used to zag all the time. Now I gotta zig. I used to always when I dunked, I would always swing. And now instead of coming down straight down, I gotta come down at a different angle. Instead of just hanging like this, I gotta let my arms drop. And then, he's doing all this stuff in the G League. So when he comes up to when he comes up here, the only thing they're gonna do is really put him on minutes restriction.
So I'm not putting down the G League in any way, form, or fashion. But
I know the point you're about to bring up.
How many Giannis Antetokounmpos is there in the G League? How many KDs? How many?
I understand, but we're not talking. But here's my point to that, Trey. We're not talking about the talent. We're just talking about him mentally understanding. Like when I get the ball, the moves I do, what do I need to change to make me feel more comfortable?
Completely understand.
That's the part I'm coming from. I'm not coming from the talent because I'm not going to say the League's talented like that.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is basically is that it's true enough. That's that, but it's not the same as saying like we all talk about in football. Yeah, you dominate in the college until you get to the pros where everyone is equal or not or even greater than you are. And so that takes a different type of mentality in which he's not going to be able to get a portion of that or anything remotely to that until he's basically OJT. He's back, back on the floor with the other pros. And like this is just conditioning. In my opinion, it's just conditioning, allowing him to get his legs back under him. But it's not many people who are, some people are complacent in the league, which gets them sent back down or get them ousted out. And you got some people that's going to give it to him that in the G League, but they're not going to be consistent as what he's probably going to face when he gets back on the floor. That's all. That's what I'm saying. We're talking about the mentality portion. Like when he's back amongst his peers, where he belongs at is going to be a different type of game.
And but to that point as well, Trey, again, and I'm going to take this second to plug Major League Baseball, like we talked about at the end of last week about the lockout.
Mm-hmm.
This is a direct result of Major League Baseball, what we're talking about right now. And I'm going to applaud again the NBA for making this step and doing this, because this is what these players need, because there aren't many Giannis. There aren't many Kevin Durant's. There aren't many Joels. And you know what those three guys are? Some of the best players in the world. So before a guy comes back from an injury of this caliber, Trey, I think that they need that run through the G League. They need that, guy that they're not worried about him going up and putting his head in the rim with them, but they know he's still going to try to go up and make a name on himself for himself because it's Klay Thompson in front of him. So they do need those type of things. I really, applaud the NBA for making this G League situation work the way it has, putting these two-way contracts in, bouncing players back and forth. We got little Braun out there playing, so maybe Klay pops in during a session where we could possibly see him go up against little Braun or something. But Klay needs this. And shout out to the NBA for having that ability for Klay to go over there and work those few, first games out with less pressure and less lights on him.
Yeah, and real quick, this jersey, it was like $1 and some change because it's custom. Like I got my name on the back. I would turn around, but I'm lazy as fuck to do that now. But what I want is for everyone in the league to have a two-way contract. Because I want the league to start treating
what?
And hold on, I'm gonna tell you why. The league needs to start treating the G League exactly how the MLB treats their pipe system. They're talented, yeah,
they are.
But if you're injured and it's an injury that you need rehabbing from, where do they rehab? The minors. When Chris Sale had his injury, they did not just throw him back in the starting rotation. He had to do a rehab assignment in the minors.
But this is what we're doing. But this is going on with Klay. This is what Jameis Winston went through. Mm-hmm. This is exactly what they're using, and that's why I said shout out to the NBA for making this happen that way. This is exactly what they're using it for.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
But they don't need two-way contracts. A two-way contract is not. I get what you're saying, but it's not used for that sense. Giving Stephen Curry a two-way contract is ridiculous and dumb. So to your point, they all have the ability and eligibility to go to the G League team that their team controls if they're injured or if they just want to assign them. They don't need a two-way contract. The two-way contracts are players that are 90% G League players that have the ability to come over and play in the NBA for games if necessary. Their two-way contract is so that way they get actually the proper payment, the proper I can't get the word out right now, but they get what's supposed to be given to them for playing in the NBA, and we don't have a back and forth issue from game to game if they're brought back and forth like Tyson Alexander over at the Suns. So the two-way contracts are doing very well with it. I leave it alone, let it grow from where it's at, and then expand on it later.
No, but you're using the two-way contract from the idea from someone who's going to be bouncing back and forth. I'm looking at it from the angle of if a guy's going to get injured, obviously Golden State's going to do this, but not a lot of teams really do this. Hopefully this is the beginning of it, and they do this going forward, because I genuinely believe that's like if a guy tears his ACL, like Kevin Durant, for instance, with his Achilles, it wasn't 100% known whether or not he was going to be bounced back and be okay. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a situation where you should have them in the G League, because I feel like if you put them in there, that's kind of where they can kind of start learning. All right, do I need to change anything in my game? When I jump, do I need to land on? Do I got to land on both legs, or do I got to land on the leg I didn't injure? Like when I start doing my moves, is there anything I can do to minimize the impact on my body? I feel like that's kind of where they kind of do that stuff in the G League. I feel like that's kind of where they should be and where they should do it. So again, that's just me. And again, when I'm saying this, I am a little biased because I do love the MLB and I do love what they do when a guy is injured. Instead of just throwing him in there, they kind of just bring him up. You look good, next phase. You look good, next phase. You look fine. All right, now let's bring you up here. Now run a little bit of live pitching. Let's see how that goes, et cetera, et cetera. Go from there. And I feel like the league should do that. Again, they're starting to do that with Golden State. The thing is, I don't know if it's the league doing it or if it's Golden State doing it.
It's basically based on the organization. So they have the means if they determine that this is what they want to do, reassignment. Of course, there are certain assignments and protocols and different rules to who plays in the G League and how they play. But for the most part, when you're talking about something like this, due to the injury, to give them that opportunity, it's Klay Thompson falls in the Wiseman definitely falls in the within the rules, but it's determined by it's not the league. You got to keep in mind the league is just a figurehead. It's just an organization, nonprofit organization that governs the for-profit teams. So it's the teams that make the determination, not the league.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people have been applauding the league, and I like it, but at the same time, it's also like, how much is the league really doing? Because if you really think about it, I don't know if Golden State reached out and said, "Hey, Adam Silver, is this okay?" I don't know if that's the case. I don't know, or I don't know if they just thought, "Hey, this is a good idea. Let's try doing that." You know what I mean? Like, so it is what it is. It's gonna be interesting because, like I said, I like the idea. Hopefully, I'm just hoping that they just do this more. That way, when guys have, and I'm talking about serious injuries. I'm not talking about if a guy gets a cramp and all of a sudden he goes, "Oh, I got to go back to G." Like, no, bro. Like, it was a cramp. Like, relax, you're fine. I'm talking about like serious injuries, ACLs, Achilles.
That's gonna definitely be. It's gonna definitely be the formula going forward. That's what they're putting in for it. They've been working on this for past 5 years, and it's finally,
I think
Mm-hmm.
It's like you said. It depends on the person because, of course, you wouldn't put Kevin Durant in the G League.
No.
Yeah. So
to be honest,
it doesn't hurt.
I would only because I'm the route I'm going. If you have a serious injury, I'm going through the route of, do you have to change your game? I'd rather you do that in the G League to play around with yourself to figure out before you come up. So that way, when you're back on the court on the NBA level, instead of having to, regain your legs and be more comfortable and all that stuff, instead of doing all that, you can just go out and play and be more comfortable.
So you
That's
would
just how I'm looking at it.
after an injury, you would send Tatum to your G League affiliate to
if it's a serious injury. I'm talking about a serious injury. If he just kind of sprained his ankle.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
Yeah, I'm not sending you to the G League for that. You know, if you're coming at me talking about
no, but pride,
ACL, Achilles,
but pride,
torn Achilles. If they pulled a Paul George and snapped his leg, that's where I would send him there. You know, again, not for the full year. Don't get it twisted. I would just send him there for a couple weeks to see, yo, do you have your legs under you? Are you comfortable? Are you good? You have to change anything. Just so that way when we bring him up to this level, he's good and he don't got to worry about nothing. He can just go on and hoop. Go ahead, Jay.
No, and you're right, bro. You're 100% right on that. Except there's certain, like Trey was getting at. You're not sending Kevin Durant. You're not sending Giannis. You're not sending Steph Curry. You're not sending these guys over there because the one thing that you got to keep in mind when you're talking about this, they're going over there in your mind, in our mind, to rehab. Take it easy, see what they need to do to make sure that they're ready for the NBA court. Well, when they step on that court and that ball's tipped, the guys on the other side of that ball are looking at them like fresh meat. And it's time to make a statement. Yeah, it's time to make a fucking statement. I got Klay Thompson in front of me. He plays for where I want to be, and he's sitting here with me. This is my opportunity.
You look like dinner to me, son.
But I mean, the guys in the NBA level
when we do this,
like
no, right. But we're talking about. Hold on. We're talking about tacos and burritos because listen, when you put the guy back into the NBA, that's where he's supposed to be. If something happens over there, that's what he was supposed to be doing. That's what we signed him up for. That's what we pay him to do. And it's just a bad look. If something happens, we put him over in the G League and he's playing and some guy tries to bam on him. He twists his ankle after just coming back and he's supposed to have a couple of days here and go back to the NBA. And now that sets him back 6 months. You look like an idiot. So you got to make sure that you do it right. Yeah, if Kevin Durant is back from an Achilles injury, he's been rehabbing for 8 months, and he's supposed to be back. But you want to send him over to a little 2-game assignment just to get his head right, and some dude decides that he sees Kevin Durant standing in the middle of the key, and he's going to try to bam on him.
That's like putting Eminem in front of Hoodie Lux. What you think going to happen?
No, it's not. It's not. It's not at all. Because to sit here and act like the same thing can't happen on the NBA is preposterous.
Yes, it can. No, it's not. We're not talking like that. You're miscalculating what we're saying. You're miscalculating what we're preaching. I'm not. Hold on.
No, you're saying I would send this isn't a 2-game assignment. But I'm miscalculating.
You can't learn what I'm saying. You can't learn what I'm saying if you don't listen.
There's nothing to learn.
So I'm trying to tell you didn't hear it. I'm trying to tell you what I'm trying to say. You misinterpreted it wrong. I'm not saying that the amount of games matter, Pride. What I'm saying is, and you're right, it can happen in the NBA. But in the NBA, they're there. That's where they're paying them for, to be on that court. They're not paying them to play on a meaningless game, whether they win or lose over in the G League. So for them to get injured in a game coming back in the NBA, Pride, it can happen, and it's unfortunate, but it's life. But him to get injured in a game in the G League, that's where it's a head scratcher, and you look at it like, man, that's a bad decision we made. So that's where it falls on who we're talking about. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying when they look at this, dude, there's insurance. They got insurance on their legs and ankles. There's insurance policies on these guys' bones. So talk about this. They're not about to just go to the G League and risk Kevin Durant re-injuring an Achilles just for one or two games. No, but I get where you're coming from. It's just certain guys.
Look, man, I'm not trying to. No, you're not, because the point you're making does look. I'm saying if a guy tears his ACL or something like that, right? I'm giving him the option. Mm-hmm. Do you want to go down there? Goes down there, and again, you're there to relearn yourself. That's what you're there for. You're not there to go up there and all of a sudden break the record. If I'm Kevin Durant, you're not going down there to all of a sudden try to average 45 on him. You're not trying to dominate. It's just like, how do my legs feel? Okay, I'm doing this move. It doesn't feel good on my Achilles. All right, let me try this other move. Oh, that feels better. My jump shot, it feels a little weird. I gotta swap it out. So instead of kicking one leg out, I gotta lay on both legs. That's how I'm using it as. You know what I mean? Now, if they go out there and
I follow you on that.
But so you're saying if they go out there and get re-injured, well, no, because if they go out and get re-injured on the court, they still look stupid because they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, he came out too early," and he came out too early against this level of competition. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it, because you know what I mean. Again, I'm not saying you got to send every guy down there. Don't get it twisted. What I'm saying is you go up to Steph and say, "Yo, Steph, you broke your hand. Do you feel you got to switch your shot up? Do you want to take the opportunity to go down there for a little bit? No? Okay, cool. Then it is what it is. That's all I'm saying. And again, I'm only saying this if it's a serious injury. If you caught a cramp, and listen, I love this dude, but if you pull on a LeBron and you got to get carried out because the Spurs forgot to turn on the AC, you're not going to the G League for that, dog. You're not going to the G League for that. You feel me? Torn ACL, ruptured Achilles, stuff like that. Yeah, but outside of that, if you dislocated your thumb or something like that, you're not going to the G League for that, you know? Serious injury, but you're not going to the G League for that, you know? That's just me. I feel like they should use the G League how the MLB uses the minor leagues. That's like putting Serena in a G League.
They do.
And again, I get what you're saying in terms of the talent, but if I'm sending, look, I'm not sending Jason Tatum to get my, you know, or I'm not sending Steph Curry to get the Santa.
No, I get your point though. I get your point.
You know, that's really
real
and
quick.
Again, I'm not saying you have to do it. If let's say LeBron, you know, he says, "No, I'm good. I don't want to go." He doesn't have to go. If Kevin Durant declines it, he doesn't have to go. I'm just saying the option.
No, I get where you're
just in case.
It is there, and I follow you. But real quick,
go ahead.
So December 18th, we got Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley too.
Jesus Christ.
Fury was scheduled up until 2 days ago. He pulled out of the fight. Says he has a lung infection and a broken rib. So Woodley gets the second opportunity at it. Greg, just real quick before we close up out of here, do you see anything different happening with this one?
No, it's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same as the first one. No, there's no difference. It's just they. Okay. I mean, they both gonna make their money, but it's gonna be the same.
Coach
Pride.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
So,
I'll go real quick. No, it's gonna be the exact same. And I genuinely believe that there's another stipulation where Woodley can't knock him out. Woodley's gonna take it. He's gonna hype it up. He's gonna do all the talking, only to just go in there and again sell out.
Yep.
That's how I look at it. Because again, you can't sit there and tell me, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna knock him out. I'm gonna destroy him. I'm gonna kill him." You know, I'm a real dude. And then all of a sudden, you get in there. We find out there's a no knockout clause, and you know you're fighting weird because there was times you could have ended it, but then you're kind of just like falling back. So I think it's
yesterday when I was talking to him, let me add on that. So yesterday when I was talking to Jake Paul, one of the major questions that, you know, was running through my mind that we answers for was about what you mentioned, the no knockout clause. So, you know, we asked him, you know, there's a lot of rumors out here that your fights are scheduled and they have a no knockout clause in them. You know, how do you address that? So he said one thing they did with this particular fight is he put in a knockout bonus for Tyron Woodley. So if Tyron Woodley actually knocks out Jake Paul in this fight, he will get a $500,000 bonus for the knockout. Okay. So I don't know if that was put in there to kind of like hush the haters or if it's a real clause. But he did do that. Coach, what you think? Anything change here?
Hell no.
A little bit same of the same, more of the same.
So just like that, Coach. Hell, that's it.
Yeah, hell no, more of the same. Just more of the same. You're just gonna hype the fight up and then go out there and just get put to sleep, probably.
Trey,
you said go out there.
How you feel about your boy Jake Paul fighting?
It is what it is. It'll be content at the end of the day. We're content. We create content. So it's like, you know what I'm saying, asking Stephen A. how you feel about Trey commenting. So, you know what I'm saying? But to say, I think it's going to be different. I mean, you got to take in consideration, although Woodley is not a boxer, he is a combat sport veteran. And if he's taking serious consideration for his craft, then he's going to probably go back to the lab, do some stuff different, look at it, and completely change. In the sense of Paul, he's only been at this for a while, and he might still be lacking. Hopefully, he has some people that's in his camp that's going to keep his head on straight and make sure that he doesn't go in with the same type of the same style. But I think it could be different for Woodley in a good way.
And we'll see. We'll see whether or not it is different. My only thing is, I'm interested to see that the whole, like you said, Jay, when you spoke to him, you said there's a knockout bonus. As long as it's legit, we will see. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Obviously, that's it for us here. Before we jet, Jay, do you have any final comments regarding anything? And not that your boy Jake Paul's going to win. I'm talking about anything else.
Yeah, that's not my boy. But Jake Paul is going to win. Again, we want to thank everyone out there for tuning in each and every day with us right here, ASAP in the morning. We're trying to make this the #1 sports show on the internet. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Give us a share, like us on YouTube. And again, Viva Live TV, channel 598. And then, of course, you can find us on Roku.
Yes, sir. Just in case it is up on the screen for you people, Viva Live TV 598. Trey, I understand that you're a big fan of Alabama. Do you have any final comments, my good sir?
Definitely not about Alabama, but he's like just to echo what Jay was just saying. Hey, we appreciate you coming out, watching us, joining us every morning. There's plenty of shows on the ASAP network. You catch them out, especially when you like to hear the back and forth with the serious hot topic debates. Hey, please be sure to check out the channels on all your favorite social media channels, YouTube, Instagram. And of course, like you just said, Roku and Viva Live TV. Appreciate y'all coming out. Check us out tomorrow, every day, Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 Central Standard Time.
Yes, sir. Greg, obviously, you pulled the bishop and you're abandoning your quarterback, that being Patrick Mahomes. Do you have any final comments?
Never will abandon Patrick Mahomes. That's my guy. But I will say, well, first I want to say thank everybody for watching. Thank you for commenting on the show, man. We love all the fans that watched. And on this day, December 7th, I will make a guarantee. December 7th at 11:19 a.m.
At 11:19 a.m. Let's go. Let's hear it.
The Kansas City Chiefs will be in the Super Bowl, and they will win the Super Bowl.
What did he say? Say that one more time.
And
you heard it first.
I feel good about it. I can't wait.
That's going to be the first. That's going to be the first time Greg made a prediction and was wrong. That's going to be that's going to be a sight to see. Coach Dante. Obviously, your life goal is to coach the Portland Trailblazers. So holla at me, bro.
Say less.
Why you keep bringing up one of the worst organizations in NBA basketball right now?
I will never stop.
Anyway, man, shout out to everybody. The best morning show crew. Keep giving us a share out. Keep coming to support and us. Even though Damian say the most blasphemous shit almost every single day, he's a great supporter. But it's not easy to get up early in the morning. It's not very easy to get up early in the morning. And every morning you guys are here with us, supporting us, watching us debate. And it's fun being a part of these networks, man. So shout out to everybody. ASAP Sports Network. Shout out to the Spotlight Sports Network, man. We on the road, we on the grind. We trying to become the best network out there. But like I say, you guys have been helping. Just keep sharing out the love. Everybody who streams on ASAP and Spotlight, just keep sharing it out, man. Get us more out there. You're only helping bringing people in and drawing people in to see us and us debate and see the hottest topics. We're going to be better. We want to be better than First Take, ESPN, Sports Center. We want to be better than all that, and we're going to be better. So, and we're going to be the best sports podcasters that you guys will ever see. So keep sharing us out, keep putting us out there, and we all will keep delivering for you guys.
Yes, sir. So obviously, thank you, Damien, with the jokes. I appreciate it. Tomorrow, I'm expect some better Damien, bro. So you better get rid of that Kimbo slice line. You better start giving me something better. I am with my man, Mr. Baggins, bro. The Detroit Lions, bro. It took a while. They got their first win. Obviously, appreciate you guys. It's fun. Being able to, we're up. Like Coach said, it's tough. It's tough waking up this early. You guys do it, and you watch, and you keep the chat jumping. It is fun. We'll be right back here, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Eastern, because I'm an Eastern loser. That's just me. On behalf of Coach Dante, Portland's #1 fan, Jay Ness, who wants to be Jake Paul when he grows up, Trey, who's all of a sudden going to try to say Trey Lance is the greatest quarterback ever, and Greg, who one day is going to say Baker is better than Patrick Mahomes. It is your boy Pride, the most delusional Pats fan who thinks Mac Jones is on his way to being the GOAT. This has been ASAP in the morning. We appreciate y'all, and we'll be back here tomorrow morning. Be safe.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so time for laces. All sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so time for laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.